Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Emerging through the fire and flames of Daytona and Richmond, Zach Arnold joins Kevin Franks in good company with a win in the state for lovers. But this early, anything can still happen through this L-TAC Cup Series season. Just 2 races into the new L-TAC season, all we've learned so far is to expect the unexpected, especially when rolling into the high banks of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Welcome, race fans. This is Pit Stop TV's live coverage of the L-TAC Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. Alongside me virtually is Emerson Arden with Trey Shuttlesworth on our social media coverage. We thank you for tuning in across our multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And again, we join you tonight from the virtual 1500 Terra Place, Hampton, Georgia, for the third round of 29 on the L-TAC Cup Series season. Emerson Arden, very happy to have you alongside. We've had two very wild races, for sure, in their own rights as well. Daytona International Speedway 3 weeks ago now, and Richmond Raceway 2 weeks ago. We had that 1 week break for the iRacing running of the Rolex 24. We now come into sunny Georgia, the Peach State, for what is going to be a very, very interesting race. I think there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, we can get straight into the point standings. And, I mean, there's just a lot to take in when you look at these points. First off, Holden McGill with a 28-point lead all the way back through, I mean, really, it's actually very tight from Taylor Butcher-Benjamin in second place all the way down through Kyle Green in 16th. And, of course, just like we have in Bluegrass a whole lot, we have a tie right at the cutoff line. Everything is so close in these point standings. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, we're only 2 races in, fair enough. But even over in Bluegrass, very tight point standings. I expect much of the same here through the first half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. If you think about it, we've had, again, the wild race at Daytona, the plate race, anything can happen. And then the short track at Richmond, that is just brewing carnage. I think we ended that race under caution. So, absolutely insane races to start the season. Now we're at a 1.5 miles, a little bit calmer of a race. So we're expecting, especially because this track is going to be much more on conserving tires more than anything. I think we're really going to see these drivers get into a rhythm and see the drivers that really can excel at this 1.5 mile racing. They'll start to rise up in the point standings, being that we're at our first 1.5 mile in the season.
Yeah, I think this will be the tone setter for the season. Upcoming after Atlanta, we have tracks like Sonoma Raceway in 1 week's time. Then we have Milwaukee up north. And, I mean, it's a wacky schedule. It's a lot of great racetracks, though. A lot of racetracks that you wouldn't usually see on iRacing League schedules. And that said, I still feel like coming to the 1.5s, coming to the intermediate speedways of the NASCAR Cup Series is very, very important if you want to set the tone for your season and the rest of the league. Because if you can come out here to Atlanta and assert yourself as number one, it's going to be a wake-up call for everybody else to take note that you are going to be the fastest on really the meat and potatoes of the schedule.
Yeah, for sure. We think of NASCAR in real life just all the time being a majority of 1.5 mile tracks. I know they're adding more road courses and all that this season, but 1.5 miles, like you said, make up the meat and potatoes of the schedule. They are really what NASCAR Cup racing is mostly about. Like, if you can tame Atlanta, even though Atlanta in its own is a very unique 1.5 miles, and the 1.5 miles, each of them have their own unique features, but this one is way abrasive on tires. Nonetheless, I think it's actually going to elevate your status even more if you do well today.
And of course, Atlanta's seen its fair share of changes to those unique features. Used to be a little over a mile, used to be traditional oval shape, now takes on that quad oval shape with the addition, with actually the flip of the front stretch to the back stretch and vice versa, and the addition of those couple of dog legs to now give us that kind of stadium section with all the massive grandstands. And, I mean, it's taken multiple different forms now over the course of its history, and its history is getting ready to change, I think, here soon in real life. There's been talks of turning it into a totally different kind of campus, almost amusement park-like, but also, obviously, keeping the racetrack. There's been talks of resurfacing the place, reconfiguring the place. A whole lot could be on the way soon for Atlanta Motor Speedway, so it's important, even on iRacing, for these drivers to get all the laps they can now, while we still have Atlanta as it is. And getting some of those laps in now is going to be Logan Hamilton, top of our practice charts. Currently, he's pretty dinged up right here, but Logan picking up where he left off from last season in the L-TAC Cup Series. I know it's taken him a couple of races to get to this point, but it's nice to see that Logan Hamilton's getting back up there, getting quick on the practice charts. Granted, these are just practice times, and we still have to go through qualifying. We have to go through a 162-lap race with 2 extra stages. There's a whole lot, again, to talk about this evening, and it's going to be difficult to unpack it all. Of course, we have a ton of drivers as per usual. 40 so far have connected. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to watch tonight. I think, with him being top of the practice charts, that looks great and all. And, practice can mean anything, though, like you said. What's really going to mean the most is qualifying well and then getting a good initial start, because who knows how many actual cautions we're going to have. I know we have 2 for sure with the stages, but who knows how many more opportunities you're going to have restarting the race. most of your overtakes, once you're settled into long run running, is going to be, the tire life amongst drivers. Like if you have a better tire life, you'll reel in those drivers who've used theirs earlier. And that's pretty much going to be most of the overtaking after the first 5 laps or so after a restart.
Tires are certainly a premium here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I've likened it recently as Wednesday, to the new Beast of the Southeast, where it really just eats up tires and cars and spits them back out in all kinds of damaged condition. And it's going to make a driver feel this racetrack for days on end afterwards. Even virtually, this place will wear you out, and this place will break a sweat. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how these guys attack this place. Of course, they have custom setups now, as opposed to the previous iRacing fixed setups that they ran in seasons prior. They're not all that different. They're not designed to be anything crazy, and they're not open setups. Let me clarify that as well. It's not open setup racing. Each driver still has the same setup under their race car as the next driver next to them, but they're a little bit different, tuned to race a little better, which might open up this racetrack to some multi-groove racing. Now, our closest comparison to Atlanta Motor Speedway recently is the Bluegrass iRacing Series from Wednesday. You can go back and watch that after tonight's broadcast. It was a bit single groove. However, that was mostly just in the early goings. Once the tires wore off, once the Goodyear rubber broke in a little bit, drivers were searching around for grip. Drivers were looking around, trying to find the place that they needed to be to run the fastest. Now, when I say that, I'm not trying to say they're up towards the wall. We don't have the Larson line in effect just yet here at Atlanta, but we will see them search around just a little bit, try different things in the corners, and we are going to see these guys have to race Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, that's what everybody loves about Atlanta. That's why we're here at Hotlanta.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, that outside lane, not going to be a thing, but you're going to see them use the middle lane. I think that the inside lane is definitely going to be the preferred line, especially, off restarts and all. You want to be up on that inside and shortening the track length as much as you can, getting the best arc on corner entry and good exit that gets you right up towards the outside wall at the exit of the corners. But after that, you're really going to be maybe working towards the middle lane to not really heat up that right front tire, or maybe your tires will get to the point where you're just going to have to run that middle lane to kind of keep your speed up. So it'll be interesting to see what the tires do over the course of the 42 lap stages, and of course the longer stage at the end of the race.
42, 42, and 78 are stage lengths this evening, which is a big difference compared to what we had Wednesday night. We had a couple of longer stages, a number of about 84 laps, changing things up, shortening them a bit here. Actually, half of that, just about, for the first couple of stages, and then about that same length to the end. So it's really going to change up the strategy that we see these drivers employ. I think we're going to see most of these guys, honestly, try and cut the stages right in half, at least stages 1 and 2, and maybe even see some undercuts there in those first couple of stages, especially stage 2, where you run a couple of laps under caution and kind of dig into that second stage, and you're able to really run just a little bit further on fuel. I think we'll see these guys try and undercut a little bit, even though you can run that little bit further. Getting into qualifying now, these drivers done with their practice session, ready to go and see who can go the fastest over the course of 2 laps. And this is important, yet also is not necessarily the best indication of race speed. Of course, while it is very important in a field of 30, 40 cars to qualify up front, you can absolutely do it from P40. It's just going to take a whole lot more work, and you're going to have to be one of those guys that is fast. It's currently watching Barrick Uphold work around the racetrack right now. Here's Logan Hamilton already into turn 3, but I think this is actually his out lap. He'll run the middle to high groove to get up to speed, and we'll just watch kind of what these drivers are doing differently to get around this place in qualifying.
Yeah, I can see actually this ADA, he's already through to turns 1 and 2, so maybe he's setting up more for a second lap, or that middle line is faster in his case. I thought he was just trying to get a wide arc into the corner, but he's running that middle line, so it'll be interesting to see what this lap time is as he comes through 3 and 4.
This is Derek Line coming to the line, and he will go, waiting for it to come in, 14th position for the number 88. You see a lot of the times coming in on the left side of your screen, you saw multiple drivers go purple towards the top. One of those being Merrick Watchhorn. He's currently holding on to what would be pole position. We'll see what he can do out of turn number 4. Will he go faster than his first 29.565, and no, he does not go faster, but someone who does is Mario Lapinta in the number 13, getting some extra speed. Then Joseph, I think one of the most iconic names at this point of the L-TAC Cup Series, goes to the top in his number 20 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE, and that's good for a 29.529. So rifling off some pretty quick lap times here are the L-TAC Cup Series drivers in qualifying. Grant Peterson, he's up into 4th. Jack B. Ryan, he was quick at Richmond 2 weeks ago. He's up into 4th. David Brackett, how about David Brackett making the crossover from the Bluegrass iRacing Series? He jumps up into 6th place. I do believe we have Wyatt Brackett in attendance as well. Joshua Abbey, another one of those drivers making the crossover. He goes up into 4th, while Landon Durhold goes purple.
Yeah, Holden McGill is taken to the track, and I'm a little surprised to see where he is after the first lap. Now, he still has the second lap, and looks like he's really hooking that bottom lane through 3 and 4. Holden McGill, I was expecting to be a little bit higher up on the standings. Maybe he'll shut me up right here at the line.
And he goes second quick. So
Well,
our
he
points
does.
leader. Our points leader's got some speed in that number 21. Might not have been showing it in practice, but certainly showing it now in qualifying as he goes up, not quite to P1, but still pretty darn quick for the number 21 machine. I was mentioning Wyatt Brackett here. He comes out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway for his qualifying run. And he's in the number 11 as opposed to the number 33 that we usually see. Of course, Robert Pattengale in the number 33 for Tucson Sound Art here in the L-TAC Cup Series. Wyatt Brackett sitting 19th. Where will he go with his second lap? Up to, 12th spot. Not so bad there for the driver out of the great state of Maine. Derek Rolleveld for AOD Racing coming across the start finish. Where does he go? I think that might have been to start his lap, and it was. So this will be his first time lap.
Yeah, Rolleveld, he was really making his way through the field. So even a midfield starting spot, you can still expect him to make his way towards the front. But obviously you want to start as high as in the field you can. So we'll see what he can do here. But if Richmond was any indication, he can really get it done from any starting spot.
Watching Rolleveld rather across the line, and the 99 car goes up to 21st. Maybe a little bit underwhelming on that first lap, but it seems like the second lap has really paid off for a lot of drivers. Lauren McFadden on the racetrack as well. He's looking to run right on the bottom side again. And on these new tires, we're going to see the entire field fight to be down low, fight to get around the track on the bottom side of the racetrack, paint that white line. But over the course of a run, we might see them move around just a little bit. Across the line to complete his second flying lap goes Derek Rolleveld, and he will go from 21st to 10th. So it's good for a big improvement there, and Lauren McFadden does not complete his second lap on the speedway. That does mean, though, Emerson, it's time to go down our starting grid. And rolling off first place, it's Landon Durhold, asserting himself as one of the favorites on the intermediates for the rest of the season. Holden McGill, points leader, right there with him, starting from second place. And it's going to be Joseph rolling off in third spot. Mario Lapinta in fourth. Rolling off fifth, it's going to be Joshua Abbey in the 05. Then Merrick Watchhorn in his number 91. Starting seventh place, it's going to be Grant Peterson. Jack B. Ryan is outside, starting eighth. And the final of the top 10 going to be David Brackett and Derek Rolleveld.
We find our way back to row 6, and we'll find Stephen Parrott and Zach Arnold. Row number 7 will be Wyatt Brackett and Mason Thompson. Row number 8, Andrew Cootie, Ryan Duke. Bradley Walters will come home, or will start in 17th, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin will start 18th, making up row number 9. Row 10 will find Chris Horn and Sean Deal, 19th and 20th.
Rolling off 21st is the 12th car, Logan Hamilton. Barrick Uphold going to roll off in 22nd. Rolling off 23rd, Brett Fisher in the number 30. He had some trouble 2 weeks ago at Richmond. Then it's Robert Mathis rolling from the 24th starting position, starting at 25th. That's Kevin Franks in the 98. He won Daytona. Then Colin Stone in 26th. Rolling off the grid from the 27th position, the inside of row 14, it's Dylan Breton, then Curtis Martin to his outside. The inside of row 15 going to go to one Kyle Green with Stephen Purcell to his outside.
Row number 16, P31 will be starting Frank Flores, and to his outside will be Roy Grande. Row number 17 will find Derek Line and Robert Pattengale. Behind them, 35th will be Richard Springer, Jeremy Berger. Row number 19, Nate Brooker, Roger Shelton. 39th, Lauren McFadden. 40th, John Fallon. 41st, Ryder Schrouth.
So 41 cars at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I want to preface something you might see on the scoring pylon throughout the evening. Our ticker sometimes takes a bit to catch up with where we are in the racetrack, and sometimes it de-renders some cars. But our timing and scoring will reset anytime we go back up to the leader. So if you see things jumping around weirdly and it doesn't feel like it should be in the middle of a pit sequence, don't worry. I'm sure those guys up in first and second are okay. Of course, if we get a caution, you might know a bit differently, but just be aware of that. I want to make sure nobody panics out there as we're watching. Now, we've actually gotten through the grid in record time, I think, here, Emerson. These guys are not even ready to roll away yet, and we got through all 41 cars. So while we have a moment here, I want to talk about some of our partners at Pit Stop TV, and of course, we always lead off with our, actually now a series partner, Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music, you provide the image you want, and we will custom create a beautiful framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. And with Sound Art, you do get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional information, and make sure to use promo code PitStopTV at checkout for 10% off of your purchase today. Ever wish you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, now you can, thanks to RacePace, a driver development service and setup shop all in one. Work with Tyler Campbell, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race. Pick up pace with RacePace, and I can vouch for the speed you pick up with RacePace. We ran one of their setups in the 24 Hours of Daytona last weekend. It was absolutely on rails in the Lamborghini Huracan. Definitely, you should check these guys out at RacePace. Tyler does an amazing job with those setups. Of course, we also want to give a shout out to Permanent Makeup and Cryo and Man and Whiplash Media, but we'll talk more about them in the future. Down the back stretch for the final time before letting these guys loose, we have 41 hungry dogs ready to get, well, 39 of them looking for their first win on the season, but 41 of them looking to advance themselves in this season and get closer and closer to locking themselves into the playoffs, because you can't just do it with a win. You've got to point yourself in. You've got to be up there all season long. We'll see who gets the head start here on the intermediate speedways very, very shortly. It's 162 laps on tap at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on iRacing.com. It's the L-TAC Cup Series coming to you for the green flag, and we're off and away.
About that third car on the inside line, having a little bit of trouble getting up to speed already as they roar down to turn one. Let me see who that is, and that is I think that is the 05 of Joshua Abbey, who did not have the best of starts, but we continue on. Look at that field roar off of turn two.
Into turn three, one car hard into the inside wall. Is that Joshua Abbey again? I believe it was. It's hard to say, but it did look like it may have been the silver and black number 05 that we're so used to seeing now for Joshua Abbey. And you know what, considering it was definitely Joshua Abbey. Didn't even get a chance to put our ticker up just yet. We hadn't even completed the first lap of action, and Joshua Abbey is in trouble. Let's take a replay. I look back at things here for the number 05 out of Texas and see what happens to him.
We'll see here. He already had a bad start from the restart. Did not have the greatest of launches, and seemed there crashing into the inside wall off of turn two. Yeah, it was already not the best of starts for Joshua Abbey, and that hurts right off the rip. You qualified fifth, and now you find yourself mired back at the back of the field and having to repair damage. We'll see here. This is already from the restart, and yeah, there's the two cutting him off as they head to turn one.
This is on board of Joshua Abbey, and not a whole lot happening. I guess he just, it looks like he just gets loose out of two. I don't think there was any contact, nobody directly behind him, and he just slams the inside wall. I mean, just not the way you want to start your afternoon here in Atlanta, and certainly going to hurt the day for the number 05. of Joshua Abbey. While we have this quick break here at the start, we're actually going to take a break. We'll be right back to you momentarily with continuing coverage from Atlanta Motor Speedway of the L-TAC Cup Series. You're not going to miss much. Looks like everybody's staying out up front, aside from the 05 of Joshua Abbey after his slide. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back to you momentarily.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it Sound Art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound Art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift.
We rejoin you down the back stretch, coming to our first restart on the afternoon. Landon Durhold still in control. Now, there was a swap there for second and third. Joseph up a spot, and that puts Holden McGill down to the bottom side. But if that restart does the exact same thing, or if this restart does the same as the start of the race, we might see those two flop once more, and then we should get into a nice green run. I'd imagine that was just kind of one of those growing pains sometimes, trying to get up to speed, trying to get into a rhythm. That absolutely does happen. And I don't think we expect too many first lap incidents here on the way out. Landon Durhold coming back to our green flag. It's coming to lap 5 of 162, and we're off and away at Atlanta, hopefully this time for more than just a couple of corners.
Yeah, through 1 and 2 already. Holden McGill is going to get clear of the 20, and that will flip them once again. And how about the 2? Here comes Jack Ryan into the mix already, and the draft becoming a huge effect as we roar into turn 3.
Watching from the back end of Durhold, he's got company from McGill. We're going to be side by side already at the start-finish line. Holden McGill challenging for P1, but that's bringing Merrick Watchhorn into the fight. The 91, who I think was nowhere to be seen a couple of weeks back at Daytona, really turned up the wick at Richmond, and he's already trying to reassert himself in this battle. Almost, he is going to push him 3 wide. It's lap 6, guys, the second lap of green flag racing. Watchhorn up the middle of McGill and Durhold.
Well, this is not the multi-groove racing I expect for the race lead, but here we go. Watchhorn still trying to clear. So close between the top 3. And they're still basically through it. McGill has to fall out, but the top 2 are still double wide.
There was definitely contact. Durhold definitely leaned on the 91 of Watchhorn a little bit, that time by the stripe. But they get it sorted out. They keep racing. Now looking from the back end of the leader, Merrick Watchhorn. It's only lap 7 of 162, the third lap of this green run. And Landon Durhold's not done. Neither is Holden McGill. Look how close they are. Almost bump drafting through the quad oval Atlanta.
Holden McGill wish he could push him just a little bit further. He was almost clear of Landon Durhold. Durhold fights back up the inside on corner entry down the straightaway. Now McGill will clear, but does he have the run on Watchhorn? Don't look too far now. We have Peterson and Ryan still in the mix with this top 5 breakaway. Slightly a breakaway because Joseph's still heading the rest of the gang from 6th on back.
There was one car that kind of missed turn 3, and that's starting to bundle them up about 8th place or so. It's now side by side again. McGill down, painting the white line, trying to make the bottom side work as Merrick Watchhorn holds on to the top side. Now, you definitely want the bottom, but I think it's easier to defend up top. Of course, you can restrict the corner entry, the corner exit, and just carry momentum down the straightaway. That's what Watchhorn's doing. Off into 3 again, now lap 9. And Watchhorn in the 91, holding strong. McGill starting to get, I think, a little bit desperate, sliding a little bit around, moving a little bit around. Almost got the apron there in 3 and 4. Across the stripe now, lap 10. He's a little bit further back into 1. Does he send it up underneath? He does a little bit. And still, I mean, they're just drag racing, pulling and pushing, and I mean, they're ebbing and falling. This is great stuff for the lead. It's only lap 10, though, guys.
Now I'm starting to think, if I said 5 laps after the restart, man, I am wrong. But it looks like McGill will get clear off of turn 4, and he will in front of Watchhorn. Now, what are the state of those tires? And he's going to have to defend against another attack from Watchhorn.
From the blimp now, you can see Watchhorn try to get back to the outside of the 21. Couldn't do it. He'll try and use the draft now down the backstretch. But I think both of these guys are going to have pretty warm tires after that side-by-side battle. I don't know if they want to keep racing side-by-side at this point. The self-reservation here, you see the battle for third place, though. That's Landon Durhold on the inside of the 52 of Grant Peterson, who's trying to get up into the top 3 for the first time. Oh, my! Whoa! We've got a car just stopped there. How is this not a caution? There we go. We get the caution flag. What in the world?
Wow, that is not a good place to be parked with a pack running double, almost 3 wide. And on the front straightaway, we're going to get a replay and see what happened here.
And this is one of the drivers in the back. This is Brett Fisher, so we're not going to see him until he just kind of pops in. The motor's expired. He's sitting here for a while, though. We'll watch as the leaders come into frame. This is from the back. I mean, he is here for a while. Wow, I'm surprised nobody ends up hitting him. Usually that's one of those things where, like Kevin LePage at Talladega so many years ago, somebody ends up not getting the message that there's a car down there, and somebody somehow ends up hitting them. Very thankful nobody got into the back end of Brett Fisher right there, but I'm honestly a little bit surprised that nobody did. We'll see the pit stalls, the pit road utilized for the first time this evening. Holden McGill leading the field down pit lane. And, I mean, everybody's coming, it looks like, aside from... We got Andrew Cootie, Chris Horn, Barrick Uphold, Frank Flores staying out, it looks like, as well. We have one more car, Stefan Purcell. But everybody else utilizing pit lane. I don't think they're taking 4 tires just yet. Very, very short pit stops. I think these guys are all just coming in for Sunoco race fuel. This is going to push things very, very close, I think. Possibly to stretching out stage number 1. This might be the better of 2 strategies to come in and get this quick stop of fuel.
Yeah, it will. Now, I figured they have to stay on the same strategy to not fall behind, but I don't know if Watchhorn and McGill, if they wanted to not take tires there, with how aggressive they were battling right off the rip. We'll see, though, if they're going to be able to stay up here. If compared to the drivers who maybe weren't battling double file, will they have the advantage as we get later on into the stage? We're only on lap 13, and we still have, at this point, 28 laps, and then we're still under the caution, so at least 25 laps left in the stage. Then that is a lot of green flag running for those tires that are already a little abused.
Well, I think you want to conserve that set of tires. Now, I mean, a set of tires on a full tank of race fuel here for one of these NASCAR Cup cars is going to last you in the number somewhere of 50 to 60 laps. We're not even touching that with our stage lengths as we're running half length of a NASCAR race. So these guys can definitely go these first 42 laps on tires. It's a matter of fuel, and the series does limit these drivers to a half tank, 50%. That's in the range of, 10.4? No, it's 9 something gallons. It's 18.7 is a full tank, so it'd be 9.4 gallons of fuel. It definitely limits you a good bit. But when you have a caution flag here, at 13, 14 laps, you have a chance to come in and refuel. I think we're in the number of going the distance. Really, I think 28 green flag laps is plenty doable based on the race that we had earlier in the week, the Bluegrass iRacing Series here. I do believe these guys can go 30 laps at least on a full tank, which is a half tank, of course. But I think that was definitely the strategy to go with if you're Holden McGill or anybody else. But if you're Andrew Cootie now leading the field to the green flag, you're hoping for another caution flag. Will it come? The whole field stacks up. The green flag does fly. Oh, everybody's stacked up 10th on back.
Yeah, that was huge. They were spanning out 3-4 wide back there before we even got to the restart zone. But looks like we all get away clean. Contact between the second and third place car. D92 has to catch the car on the bottom. He's sliding back, but we stay green to keep him straight.
Still racing it out. Here is, oh my, Jack Ryan up the racetrack right in front of Durhold. All this battling early on once again. Now, they're all on equal tires here. These guys did not come in for tires. They came in for fuel, which is going to change the handling of the race car a little bit as well. Emerson is going to put a little more weight back in the rear end, help these cars get a bit more free and rotate a bit more. And Holden McGill, wow, already going on Chris Horn, trying to get second place away from the 01. It looks like he'll do so down to the bottom side. The 21, absolutely the driver to watch.
And Holden McGill absolutely flying around here, making his way through, what was it, about 6 or 7 cars that stayed out. And he's already trying to clear into second. Granted, there was a little bit of a help from the restart stack up and then the stack up off of 2 with the 92 of Eric Uppel, but he gets his way around Chris Horn and now has his sights set on Andrew Cootie, who was not affected by really any of it, and he's still coming.
You see there Holden McGill now working a little bit higher up the racetrack. Chris Horn slides a little bit towards the bottom, then comes back up, almost shuts the door there on Merrick Watchhorn. Here comes Jeremy Berger, sporting the Burger King car. You know what? When it's a real company that isn't necessarily sponsoring one of these drivers, we don't usually talk about it too much, but this is just, this is perfect. For Jeremy Berger to be sporting Burger King colors on his 97 is the best thing I've seen in a while. He goes 3 wide, contact! Oh, the 91 and 01 of Watchhorn and Horn. They get together a little bit, and oh, Jeremy a bit loose up out of the corner. But I mean, that is a match made in heaven right there.
That is a perfect combination. I also want to give props right there. Good heads up from Jeremy Berger to back off a little bit more. He was 3 wide and he wanted to send it, but as soon as he could sense the 91 coming down the track, he got out of it as quickly as he could, and he salvages himself in 4th, trying to defend against Chris Horn.
A whole lot of action coming to you very, very quickly. The 97 holding tough up top. And it seems like, actually, we were talking about the bottom being the preferable line. I think it's starting to gravitate up the racetrack a little bit. Of course, 40 cars in a practice session going to turn a whole lot of laps and really rubber this track in. I think they've done so. They've warmed up the inside groove. We showed the weather a little while ago. 81 degrees ambient gives us 108 degree track temp, one of the hottest tracks we've seen all winter, of course, because we're on a sim. We don't have to simulate winter weather. It's rather warm out here in Hampton, Georgia, and I think that bottom side is starting to fall away, just like a bottom side on a dirt track slicks off. I think it's starting to just heat up a bit too much, and these guys are losing grip.
Yeah, they are really gravitating up the track, like you said. I think the tires are really
whoa! Joseph just put Chris Horn in the fence. Horn trying to save the car. He'll do so. Oh my! I mean, these guys are just trying to get to the same line, and they're leaning on one another, getting so close. And you can't make contact. You can get to within an inch of one another, of course. Once you start hitting, especially mid corner, man, problems are going to happen.
Yeah, I do want to say great catch from the 01 of Chris Horn. He can continue on. He lost some spots, but look who he's back behind, the 92 of Barrick Uphold, which they got together on the restart. So they're still in the top 10, and they can still try to find their way to some stage points here, but it's going to be at least 20 laps to go this time by the start-finish line in this stage, and he's currently under attack from Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Watching from some onboards here, and Chris Horn just sliding back further and further. He's up on the top side here, and he's actually getting hit maybe. Maybe contact there from Landon Durhold as Landon fights to his inside, and the 24 car might have gotten a bit too familiar with the left side of Horn's machine. Now he's up the racetrack hard on the outside wall goes Chris Horn.
And you really feel for Chris Horn. He has been absolutely used up on this restart. He's dropping all the way back now. He is continuously falling down the running order. Now it's going to be outside the top 30. And you hate to see it for Chris Horn. He was trying his strategy out to stay up here, and it looked like it was going to do a little bit of good, and just absolutely getting used up from everybody.
He absolutely was. We saw Landon Durhold still battling inside the top 10 there. He gets away scot-free. But Merrick Watchhorn is trying to change the tone up at the front of the field while Andrew Cootie starts to walk away here with stage number 1. Merrick Watchhorn trying to change that precedent here, at least in second place, as Holden McGill holds on to it. And I'm not sure that these guys can battle at this point. A very hot racetrack, certainly properly hot Atlanta this afternoon, definitely using up these Goodyear rubbers, if you will. And oh my, you can see the 21 sliding up the racetrack a tiny bit right there in center. The car lands, the car compresses, and it seems like it just takes it up the track a little bit as it bottoms out. And that certainly took Holden McGill up the track just a little bit. Holden hailing from Clover, South Carolina, not too far from Atlanta, also not too far from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's kind of right in between by an hour, couple of hours there. So I think we've got a lot of local racers to around the Atlanta area.
Yeah, I think that means this race means a little bit more to them. But, I mean, these two, they've been battling since the drop of the green, and it really is who wants second more with about 15 laps away from the end of the stage. So it's going to heat up here, even though those tires have heated up.
Yeah, I think your point about the home track certainly puts a little bit of a touch on it for some of these drivers. You want to win at a track that you might have gone to as a kid or even as an adult, honestly. There's a huge level of pride. A caution flag is out. And possibly looking for the 33 of Pattengale because he's very slow and he's got some right front damage. We'll take a look at what might have started this one. And we are looking for the 33 of Pattengale. We can see waiting on him to render back in down the front stretch. It is going to start with him, but we might just catch the tail end of it here on the replay. And yeah, he's already turned around in the grass, but he's definitely got a little bit of right front damage. We'll try and show some of that here. Kind of tough to see from that angle, but he's got a little bit of right front damage. Nothing too severe. You can kind of see it there on the nose, the way the splitter is kind of indented. It looks like the car is okay, Emerson, but just like Joshua Abbey earlier, not a great start to his day.
No, not at all. I mean, he was just trying to survive, really, you know, doing the right things. I know he was at the back of the field, but staying out of trouble. And I think what had happened was somebody up ahead had gone into Derek Line. Derek Line hit the wall and came right down the track and hit him and sent him through the grass. But pit stops underway. Andrew Cootie in his box.
Caution flag means pit stops for these drivers. You see, I think this is exactly what we were expecting once we saw kind of the strategy that was pulled up at the front of the field. Andrew Cootie staying out, had to come in for fuel at some point through this stage, does so now just before the lap 30 mark, which means guys who pitted a little while ago, Holden McGill and more, well, they get to stay out under this caution flag and they get to work themselves back into those top few spots. And I mean, of course, everybody at this point has pitted, but what's interesting is we've got a few who have taken tires already, one of those being Mario Lapinta, and now we only have 5 sets of extra tires. I'm kind of curious by this call to take tires early. I know that it should still work out if you try and cut this race up symmetrically. He should be okay, but it seems like the call is to try and save a set of tires, at least in this first stage, and just take things easy.
Right. I mean, I think maybe the drivers who pit for tires now won't take tires at the stage break, and maybe will take tires at the second stage break, possibly?
I don't know. That feels like shooting yourself in the foot. I guess it's a possibility, but I'm not sure how I would like that one.
In an effort for,
tires are premium.
Maybe for track position, that is now at a premium. But also, if you're not up to pace with the other drivers, you'll maybe get used up like the 01 of Chris Hill.
Yeah, Chris Horn, oh my gosh, he got bullied quite a bit there in that little bit of a run. But I don't know, I think if you were going to take tires in this first stage, you'd also have to take them at the stage break. Otherwise, you're really doing yourself some disservice. Now, if we could count on a caution flag somewhere in stage 2, I think it's more of a possibility. You can take tires here, skip them at the next caution flag. And I think if you're around 20th or 25th, you can gain some spots if we get one shortly after. But you don't have that guarantee, Emerson. It's something you don't want to put your cards on, especially if you are around 20th, 25th. You know something is bound to happen up ahead, and you've got a points race. You know, you've got to keep yourself in it. while you can't beat the guys ahead of you doing the same thing, you at least can't hurt yourself by doing something entirely different.
Right. And you know what? I think this is, the best thing about Atlanta is that there is, this strategy talk, and with how much tires do matter, and you're just trying with the 50% fuel limits as well to make fuel a little spicy for the race. It just adds to the mix of the grab bag of strategies that we can actually have at this race, and we're going to be restarting, give or take 11 laps left in this first stage.
Yeah, we're going to have, it looks like 11 once we take the green flag. That is absolutely correct. So we're right on about the same mark that we had until the previous yellow flag. It's just a little bit different. I mean, it was about, 12 laps in. And we restarted with about 14 laps in that we got back going, and we're taking the caution flag now with about 14 to go in the stage. So kind of opposite ends there. Does that mean we can expect the caution flag right before the stage, just like the start? I'm not so sure. But lap 31 of 162, we've got 131 to go this time by the stripe when we restart the race. Holden McGill back in control. Merrick Watchorn in second place. See the 20 car of Joseph having very quiet, solid runs to start the season out. He's up into third. Jack B. Ryan in fourth. Taylor Butcher Benjamin in fifth. And this is not all that far from the way these guys all started, is it? Holden McGill going to be bringing us to the, third or fourth green flag of the afternoon. Coming to lap 32, the 21 gets off and away, and he's already got a decent lead over Watchorn. Joseph battling to his inside.
He head down to turn 1 to 91 of Watchorn. It looked like he was almost into the right rear quarter panel of the 21. Here comes Joseph pushing McGill now to the inside of McGill. They go side by side down the back straightaway, and the 2, Jack Ryan, follows suit.
The 20 and the 2 cars, they get down to the bottom and Holden McGill up the racetrack. Oh, Ryan into Watchorn, maybe. Now 3 wide out of 4. Joseph going to emerge the race leader. Ryan lets Watchorn get down in front of him. Watchorn going to get to the back end of the 20 car. Doesn't hit him or anything. Playing nicely, looking for space. Doesn't find it in one. Can he cross him up on exit? Joseph pulling away now from the 91 of Watchorn. How about the 20 Chevrolet?
What a move from Joseph. Now Watchorn wants back around the outside. McGill wants by even higher. Trying to make a somewhat of a 3-wide situation. Jack Ryan now. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who started 18th, is up here in 5th, trying to gain some even more spots.
Look at him try to work down to the bottom of the Adrenaline Shock Chevrolet and behind the AOD Racing Ford Mustang. And oh man, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Oh, Holden McGill, a big bobble on it too. Butcher Benjamin just always has this kind of top 5 pace. It might not always be for the win, but he's always just good enough. And oh, Ryan, almost contact with Watchorn, and a caution comes out.
Oh no, somebody's in it. Andrew Cootie gets involved in this one, man. Right after leading so many laps already in this stage, wow, how quickly things can change with just a couple cautions not falling in your favor.
And we'll check on whether or not we have a read on what's going to bring out this caution flag with Andrew Cootie. If not, I'm sure Emerson will give us his best radio impression of what happens, but if I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure that we're going to have it back there, and it looks like Andrew Cootie going to have big problems. Only in lap 35 of 162.
Yeah, looks like Rolovold and Stone got together. Andrew Cootie had nowhere to go. Just a lot happened on that back straightaway, and Andrew Cootie, the most notable, getting the worst of it after leading laps early. That is, again, that's just going to hurt a lot.
We see Andrew Cootie's extremely damaged number 9, but a great point of conversation is that fast break that he just took right there. All of these drivers have a mulligan in each L-TAC Cup Series event. Cootie going to use his right there. I mentioned that we might see a caution flag before the end of the stage to mirror the beginning of the stage. We see exactly that, and we're going to get one more halt of action, of course, with this caution flag. Joseph, though, how about that run right to that yellow flag? The yellow and black Chevrolet looking mighty sporty, and I don't know where that speed came from on that restart. It's like he was holding back the first 30 laps. He decided it was past lap 30. All right, time to go, and just put the heat to Holden McGill, Merrick Watchhorn, and more, and he brought Jack B. Ryan with him. And Taylor Butcher Benjamin was on the way up there as well. I mean, there was a lot of speed out of some of these guys up towards the front.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph, he wanted that race lead, and he got it. From the restart, his game plan was get to the race lead as soon as possible, and if it wasn't, it still worked out well for him. But, I mean, right away, he basically got rid of McGill, and he was side-by-side into 3 and cleared them. They were 3 wide behind him, and he was setting sail. He was loving every bit of that restart. Now, he's the leader. How does he prevent that from happening to him on this restart with Jack Ryan, who was also coming with a full head of steam this last restart? It's going to be a very interesting restart with very little laps left in the stage. Stage points up for grabs.
That's right, these stage points very, very important. If we pull up the point standings once more, get a look at how things are coming into Atlanta, you can see just how important those stage points have been for Holden McGill, who I believe won both stages at Daytona. If he didn't win both, he was certainly first and second in those couple of stages. Very, very important, because without those, he would not have his 28-point lead. It would be a whole lot closer there for first place in the points. Every position throughout this race matters. It's not just what happens for first. Second pays 9, third pays 8, and on down through the top 10. It's super important to get up there and get those stage points. It makes all the difference, whether it's now in race 1, 2, or 3, or down the line in race 29. It's going to be very, very important to get the most out of these stages. See a lot of you guys out in the YouTube and Facebook chats. Thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for this evening. Of course, we know we get a lot of those kind of cult-like fan clubs out there. I think of Alan Roth on Monday nights and Justin Winters on Wednesdays. So certainly a lot of nice little fan clubs that join us here for all kinds of action throughout the week, and we've got a lot of action coming for the month of February. Definitely keep an eye on all of our social media channels and anywhere that you can watch one of our broadcasts, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. A whole lot coming in the next month's time. Joseph, the race leader, coming to yet another green flag. Merrick Watchhorn going to be restarting to his outside in the number 91. Then it's Jack Ryan, Holden McGill, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Ryan Duke making his run up into the top 10. Zach Arnold, then Mario LaPinta, Wyatt Brackett up into 9th, and Grant Peterson checking in just inside the top 10. 20 on bottom, 91 up top, and it's 2, 21, 1, and 96. Out of turn number 4, coming back to yet another green flag, and it's the Chevy getting off and away first on the inside of the Chevy.
And 4 laps to go in stage 1 to decide it all. Jack Ryan, an amazing restart, already almost clear of the 91, trying to force himself clear as they come through turns 1 and 2. They go single file amongst the top 5.
Down the back, you see them ducking left, ducking right, trying to find a way around one another. We're coming up to 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Jack B. Ryan on the bottom side. He's in second place. Watchhorn working around the top. Now, Butcher Benjamin looked to the inside of McGill out of 4. Is McGill going to try and make it 3? No, the hole closes. What will he do in 1 and 2 as Benjamin drives down to the bottom side, painting that white line? McGill noses ahead. Back ahead of Jack B. Ryan as Joseph tries to set sail and say, see you later, boys. I want this stage win. It's side by side for 2nd and 3rd. It's side by side for 4th and 5th. Oh, contact a bit more as Jack Ryan holds on to it.
Well, now Watchhorn is clear. 2 laps to go. Can he chase down and maybe do something with Joseph as the laps and the time wanes down here in stage number 1? Watchhorn trying to get the better arc off of turn number 2. Does he have any sort of run to catch that 20?
You see most of the top 10 on screen now. The battle for 3rd popping back up. McGill trying to get on by the 2 car. There's some of the battles towards the back end of the top 10. Grant Peterson holding on to the final points-paying position here for now, but Stephen Parrott down to the bottom. What can the 69 car do on the 52? Meanwhile, Watchhorn is there. Merrick Watchhorn says, not so quick, Joseph. I don't know which name I'm saying right there, first or last, but I'm going to try and pass it all. Down the backstretch, it seems like Jack B. Ryan might have had a run out of turn 2. Oh, they're all crashing behind. Oh my, that was one hell of a transition.
My goodness, big accident on the back straightaway, and Joseph will take the stage in a little anticlimactic finish. I don't know what was going to go on in turn 3, but I know there was a lot of wrecked race cars on the back straightaway.
Anticlimactic would be one way to put it. I definitely had a level of surprise when I looked up out of turn 2. We took that camera, going into turn 3. I just look up and I see the entire field in just smoke behind. Oh, it happens there. Berger trying to go around the outside of Peterson. They ran into one another. We'll try and diagnose it further. Durhold gets in, and you're going to see the back of the field render here momentarily as Abby's in it. The 44 of Sean Deal on the bottom side. And there's Jeremy Berger's very soggy hamburger at this point. We'll take a look back at it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think just a lot of hard racing in this midfield as we get the replay here. Up top, the Atlanta Motors Speedway. There's Berger coming right up behind, trying to send it 3 wide, and I thought he caught the wall. No, he got clipped, and it's pretty much what triggered it.
Then you see the 16 on the bottom side. There goes Kyle Green. There goes Logan Hamilton. We have a few more coming into frame. Oh, David Brackett gets a piece. Kevin Franks. Oh, my. The 23 of Frank Flores down to the bottom side. The 01 Chris Horn parks it. Gets a piece of Joshua Abbey. But I think we'll get through mostly okay. A lot of cars in this one. And certainly one very well done hamburger up top. I'm going to keep making burger jokes. It's too much fun not to. As actually, interestingly, in all of this, I think Jeremy Berger's staying out to have tried to get the stage points there, but we were coming to the end of the stage anyways. I'm not sure why he's still on the racetrack, but Jeremy has stayed out so far. Emerson, one thing I am going to do is bring you stage winner Holden McGill. Sit tight right quick. We'll have the 21 on speed dial.
Oh, McGill got that stage.
My bad. No, it was the 20. Correct.
Okay.
You know what? I'm so used to the 21 being up front that I just kind of defaulted. Do we have Joseph? We do. We do have Joseph in the 20 car, and we will move him right in here. We'll get a chance to talk to him.
Right on. Joseph, the stage win. How was it trying to fend off a hard-charging Merrick Watchhorn that final couple laps?
It was definitely a little bit nerve-wracking because the tires were definitely going away a bit, but I was able to hold on and hook the bottom pretty well. So we got first after pretty rough first 2 weeks, but I think we're ready to go and fend for the win today.
Right on. Well, let's talk about the move that got you up here. You lined up third on that restart. You came off of turn 2 with a shot at the lead. Talk about it, the restart prior.
Well, on the restart, Atlanta, the tires are really old, so you can spin the tires pretty much, and Holden spun the tires a little bit, which gave me the draft and able to cut under him. So I was able to get the lead and basically hold on to it since they're mostly side by side. So yeah.
Right on. Well, what's the game plan for the rest of the race now?
Probably to continuously save the tires and be there for the end. Track position's important.
Right on. You have anybody to shout out for your stage 1 victory here at Atlanta?
I'd like to thank out, everyone that works hard for the league. It's great league so far. Myself for doing well. My parents for getting me on the sim. Yeah.
Hey man, fair enough. Congratulations on the stage 1 victory, and good luck to you the rest of the race.
Thank you.
And that was Joseph picking up that stage win. That said, he's certainly not starting up there, as we're going to have a big change up. Now, Jerry Berger did take his pit stop under this caution flag, but now A couple of drivers that we saw in a very odd incident a few weeks back at Daytona are now going to make up row number 1 coming to this latest green flag. Bradley Walters, bottom side. Robert Mathis, top side. The 59 and 95. Considering their numbers reversed are one another, that little tidbit is going to stick with me forever. We're going to move on to different series at some point, and I'm always going to remember the 59 and 95 wrecking at Daytona. Just a small bit of contact got the better of them. We'll see how they fare this evening at a very different venue, the Atlanta Motor Speedway, coming to green flag, working a lap 46, coming to 47. Walters waiting for the signal from the starter. And his Toyota Camry rolls off and away. We're back at green flag racing. It's the start of stage 2, and already a jambalaya of a restart.
Now that's a term, a jambalaya. But the 20 of Joseph gets down to the bottom. He's clear the rest of the field, and he has his eyes set on the 59 of Walters. Doubled up. Here we have LaPenta and Mathis going at it in caution on the speedway.
Already a halt here of progress, and it looks like it's going to be another one of those where, unfortunately, it's those guys that are just past, unfortunately. It renders about 25, 26 cars, and it seems to always be 28th where they decide to wreck back there. But we'll take a look just in case we can find something and see what we can't learn about this caution flag.
It looks like Grant Peterson had a solo spin and hard into the wall in turn 1. I say solo spin, but some contact initiated it. He was on the bottom side and clipped somebody's left rear, and it actually sent him around instead of the other car.
And it was right around, it looks like, that 28th position where it always happens. But we do have his number 52 on screen now. You can see the dented up, very wounded number 52 Chevrolet. He's up behind the 6th car. Now, what's interesting to me is between the Bluegrass iRacing Series Wednesday and now the L-TAC Cup Series on Friday, both series have a number 6 Valvoline machine. Granted, one's a Chevy, this one's a Ford. It was Tyler Johnson picking up the win on Wednesday. Now it's Richard Springer behind the wheel on Friday. I wonder if that might be a good omen. Granted, he's been as low as 40th so far tonight. He is breaking into the top 25, at least prior to his pit stop right here. We'll see what maybe Richard Springer can do. It's just another one of those odd tidbits that makes you remember somebody. So watch out for the 6th. Just maybe he gets up there and mirrors Tyler Johnson from the other night and picks up a big W. Up at the front, though, Bradley Walters still in control. Joseph, second place. And that 20 just had a great launch once more.
Yeah, Joseph, whatever he's doing on these restarts, he's got to keep that up because he has got these stock car restarts nailed down. Absolutely flying up, slicing and dicing, getting a couple spots where he can. And he's going to be starting to the outside here. Now, it's a little bit different starting second than starting third. Starting second, you're leading the outside line, and you have the responsibility of not beating the leader to the gas pedal. When third, you can go right on the leader and be all over that back bumper to try to get what you can.
Coming across to take lap 50. And Emerson, I got to ask you a question, all right? We're on lap 50 now of 162. We've had a slew of caution flags. We've seen a lot of drivers who have a lot of speed, a lot of drivers who are kind of in between, and a lot of drivers who are making the best of their situation. I think that would be the 59 right now of Bradley Walters. We've seen how these kinds of races go before, where you never really know what to expect, and absolutely the unexpected is what you should have expected, because we see these surprise winners all the time. If you're a betting man right now, who do you take out of this entire field? There's a lot of drivers to choose from. Sometimes we only have like 20 or so. We've got 40 technically out there that you could choose from, although I'd imagine maybe not down to 40th. I think 40th is out of the race right now. Regardless, a lot of options. Who would you take?
You know, I usually go for the cheesy, obvious one. I'm going to go, not really a dark horse, but somebody I've seen consistently be up there, and the driver's second in points coming into today, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's always right up there in the mix, and I think today he might just, I don't know, snag it somehow. But I have some confidence in that one car for P1.
It's not a bad pick. That number 1 car, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's checking in currently into the 8th position, started 18th. I'd imagine this 1 car, we've already seen him inside the top 5. I'd imagine he has a whole lot more in him. If I'm looking around, I mean, Holden McGill's a great option, Merrick Watchorn's a great option, but those are kind of easy to pick right now. If I'm looking through the top 10, my pick has to currently be Joseph Joseph. This is really very surprising speed. Granted, we didn't really know what to expect from these guys this season. He was a very quiet guy a few weeks back at Daytona. I want to say he had a decent run at Richmond 2 weeks ago, but this is still very, very surprising to see Joseph Joseph up there mixing it up with some of these guys. He just won Stage 1, so maybe it's a little bit too mainstream of a pick, but I like this 20 car for some reason. It's speaking to me right now, and this Chevrolet just might have what it takes to get it done this afternoon and win in race number 3 of 29. However, the first driver to say something about it is going to be Bradley Walters, restarting from the first position here, coming to lap 52, which gives us, well, I guess we're technically in about 9 laps into our second stage, which means we have around 33 to go. Coming back to the green flag, we'll have exactly that, 33 to go. Now doing the math in my head, waiting on Walters to give it a go. We are off in green. Whoa! Steven Parrott up the outside in the back. That was a Kyle Busch jump restart right there.
Yeah, we'll see what's done about it. Up front contact between Mathis and Ryan. They keep it straight, and Mathis will still clear Joseph Joseph down the back straightaway.
A big move from Mathis, but Joseph Joseph isn't done. Right back down to the bottom side, and the Chevrolet working the inside. Oh, and almost 3 wide back here. McGill. Oh, and they're wrecking for 6th. Oh my gosh. Couple of huge hits.
Yeah, there was quite a few in that one, but with it being at the front of the field, not as many as I thought would be in it. It was hard racing. They were 3 wide. See a replay.
Holden McGill down to the bottom side of La Pinta, and Mario is, I think, going to get squeezed in the middle or squeezed to the top side in just a moment as Watchorn puts himself 3 wide with these guys, and that's where it ends up starting. And yeah, Mario just kind of slows down a little bit, I think, on older tires, and Merrick just gets right into the back of him. Ryan Duke, nowhere to go, piles in the 7 car. I want to say that might have been reactionary, but it looked like he just had his own issue and just slammed the wall. And that would have been Roger Shelton. Let's take a look back and see what else we can't find out about this.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the initial incident, I can't fault really, anyone for it. It's hard racing, very tight on a restart, but I don't know. I don't know if sending it 3 wide was also the move or trying to. Let's see what Roger Shelton saw and did.
Oh, he gets hit from behind. I think that might have been Kyle Green up into his left rear. And oh, we have someone up and over barrel rolling down the front stretch. I've not seen a flip it like that at Atlanta since Brian Keselowski way back when. That was... I don't even know. I think that might have been... Was that Barrick up? That was Barrick Uphold that was up and over. Let's... How? Just... that's impressive.
Running the Waterburger scheme. I'm waiting for another burger pun out of Andrew, but maybe a flipping patty down the front straightaway from.
Well,
Barrick
you can say his patty
see.
got flipped. You could say he got tossed like a salad instead of a burger. And oh, Ryan Duke's gonna drop him in the grease like a set of small fries at McDonald's, and unfortunately, that just might. I'm not sure if that's gonna end his race. Of course, he may have that faster pair on him, but. Barrick Uphold certainly going to have a harder time of working through this one. I think a harder time than opening a ketchup packet. I kind of failed on the delivery on that one.
Yeah, we'll let it be. That is, like you said, insane to see a car just barrel rolling down the front straightaway grass, though. It makes sense when you see it.
He's not taking a faster pair. That might... Well, he's got a recenter in his box, it looks like. Nope. The wrapping is still damaged.
Yeah, I think he might have been in the accident on the back straightaway. If you few cautions go as well. So that might be it. Well, as far as the 92 being competitive, that looks like a lot of damage. But hopefully he can still stay in the race and salvage what he can.
Yeah, that was, I like Nolan's description of it there in the YouTube chat. A big yeet. Boy, that was incredible wreckage there out of turn 4. And that was, I believe, Kyle Green that got into the 7 car. And oh, Robert Pattengale out in the chat. Apparently Robert disconnected by accident, so he's joining us for the excellent live coverage. Well, shoot, I'm going to have Bob get in here and tell us about Tucson Sound Art, reminding everybody about our wonderful partners here at Pit Stop TV, Tucson Sound Art, Raise Pace, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, and Whiplash Media. And Emerson, we're coming to yet another restart. I think these guys are getting pretty good at these restarts at this point. We haven't seen a jambalaya in a couple of goes.
You know, the more you do it, the better you are. You know, practice makes perfect, as they say. But oh man, I'm shocked. Atlanta, I figured, was going to be a much calmer race in terms of getting up to speed and getting this race to where tires are probably the defining factor. But racing's racing. It is hard racing that's been causing most of these accidents. It's not like anything's just been like just flops or anything. This has been like true hard racing getting at these guys. Well, we'll see here. Another restart here as we're creeping up near the middle of stage 2. It's going to be, again, the inverse car numbers in the front row.
I love, just because I like numbers, I like being able to have that kind of inverse situation there. 59 on bottom, 95 on top, then the 2 and the 21 in row 2. The 10 and the 1 in row 3, coming back to another restart. Dylan Breton cracking the top 10 on this try. Coming to lap 57, Bradley Walters off and away, gets a very good restart. And Kyle Green through the middle and the backside, and McGill going to drop down behind Jack Ryan on the bottom side. Block Butcher Benjamin from getting down to the bottom side of Mathis, and a very calm restart, actually.
Yeah, I'd say that the top 20 had a very calm restart. I couldn't really see the rest of the field, so I won't comment on them. But yeah, very calm up front. The first side-by-side battle's actually just gotten cleared, and it was for 5th, with Zach Arnold making his way into the top 5.
Last week's winner moving on up. You can see these guys very squirrely out of 4, firing by our speed shot on the front stretch, and Holden McGill trying to hold off the 1 car. And here comes the 10 of Arnold right to the back end of Butcher Benjamin. Boy, he's got something underneath that 10 car. He is on the move now to the outside of the 1 car. Jack B. Ryan trying to bring a fight to our race leader, and a caution flag going to hold us up.
Looks like another big one on the back straightaway. Derek Line, Ryan Dukes in the pit box.
Well, we got someone wrecking under caution. I think that's Stephen Parrott through the grass. And it was definitely the 69 car, and he is now in his pit box. I guess that's one way to get to your pits.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like he got on the pit road and slid the whole way down. But let's see the accident on the back straightaway if we can. Or no, we're going to watch Parrott here. And what happened with the 69.
I mean, he just hooks a left. So the Season 1 champion, I'm not sure if that's out of frustration from the caution flags or what, but he just hooks a left and slides the car through the pit lane. But you mentioned there was that accident down the back stretch. I'm not sure if we are or are not going to have a look at it. We'll try and find what happens here. Oh, we are actually. He's hit a 3 car hard in the wall. That was Nate Brooker, so we catch the start of it. Unfortunately, we're not going to catch the pile up because, again, cars in and out, unfortunately. But we see Nate Brooker at least getting turned in hard into the outside wall. We'll take one more look at it from his onboard.
Yeah, as far as a pileup, only 4 cars involved in total in this accident. With it being as high up the field, that's good news. We'll see what happens on board the 3 of Nate Brooker. But we'll see coming into one. He's going to slide up to this middle lane, and I think he just gets loose.
All on his own. You see it there. Oh, and it catches Ryan Duke in this one. That might be all for the number 96 as well. And oh my gosh, I mean, these guys unfortunately just getting caught up in these two incidents that they can get caught up in. Or I guess really they're one that you can get caught up in, and then the second one that takes you out of the race, even before the end of stage 2, is really unfortunate. What it is doing is keeping Bradley Walters up front, and I mean, it might hand him a stage win here in about 20 more laps.
Yeah, talk about, things working your way. With as many yellow flag or as many caution laps as we're having, I don't know if these drivers are going to have to pit for fuel if they're saving efficiently enough under these cautions. And then he's not really taking any challenges on these restarts, mainly because everybody still has to get through the gears, and I don't know. We'll see here. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is now into the 3rd position, and this is going to be an interesting restart. We'll see. He's not been aggressive on the initial get up through the gears, but after they clear turn 2, Taylor Butcher Benjamin has been slicing his way up forward.
Yeah, again, I think that's a solid pick in the number 1, and hopefully Joseph survives the back end of the field. It's getting dicey back there because my pick is now up into 15th, and it looks like if he just gets back up here, he's got something, but he's got to hang on to it. Now, I wonder if he was taking an extra set of tires here for stage 2. It's going to be interesting once we get into our final stage. We've got 78 laps to go in that one, and I think when we restart, we'll have about 75. And I'm curious as to what these drivers are going to do, because you can absolutely make that just a 2-stop pretty easily, only take 2 sets of tires, I guess 3 sets of tires from here on out. You have 5 sets of tires, I believe, for the whole race. It really doesn't feel like a race where you're having too many problems with tires at all. I think you just have to plan out your pit stops, and if you get these caution flags, extend a set of tires as long as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when the last time Bradley Walters pitted for tires, but I can assure you
Roughly 26 laps ago was his last pit stop, and it was for tires.
Okay. So it looks like he'll be on the same level in that regard on tires, but yeah, these drivers, they've ran 26 laps on tires. These tires do not feel like they've ran 26 laps on them.
Well, you know what? Bradley Walters coming in 26 laps ago, that puts him with Robert Mathis. That puts him as pitting just prior to the stage break, actually, for to end stage 1. That's an interesting strategy that they're working out. So they've been able to hit that one time before the stage. You see the 92 actually back in our pace field. So thankfully he's gotten back into it. He must not have taken the fast spare the first time. So that's good to know, the Whataburger Ford Mustang back in. But no, it's seeming like the 59 and 95 maybe playing this stage strategy pretty nicely to pit early, stay out. May have been in the back end of the field at the stage break because they pitted so close to it, but once everybody else pitted, they have been able to get up to the front and hold on to it. So with these caution flags, it's working out for him. Bradley Walters off and away. Another pretty good restart. Jack B. Ryan with his AOD Racing teammate of Zach Arnold in behind.
Yeah. 3rd on back, double wide. Jack Ryan is clear. Taylor Butcher Benjamin trying to get clear of Zach Arnold. They go side by side, and look at the 12. Logan Hamilton puts himself into the top 5, and he wants a piece of the action up here. He's peeking to the inside of Zach Arnold down into turn 3.
On board now with Logan Hamilton. He's had an up and down day already. We talked about him leading practice. He's been through the back of the field most of this one so far, but we've just gotten under 100 to go, now 99 to go. And finally, the 12 up into the top 5. Oh, you see Arnold get right in behind his teammate. Did he almost hit him? It looked like there might have been the tiniest bit of contact now. Taylor Butcher Benjamin to the back end of that Ford Mustang. And as he looked to the inside for 3, Arnold actually kind of takes a shallower entry to say, nope, closing that one in front of you. And they will continue on. How about the 59? Bradley Walters, he's out on his own right now. These are much older tires than the rest of the field.
And you know what? Even if he doesn't win this stage, if he can stay up here, salvage some stage points, that strategy I had mentioned back a couple of cautions prior to the stage end, and we have a caution on the speedway now, where I said they might...
Holden McGill's in this. This is a big one. Oh, we're still wrecking, guys. The 99 of Roeleveld, the 58 of Schrauf down there. Oh, my. I see David Brackett in it, Landon Durhold, Nate Brooker's slow, Grant Peterson's back here, Sean Deal. Oh, Brackett just stomps on the apron. Oh, a whole lot of a mess back here on the backstretch.
Yeah, I think this one's going to start with the 16.
Turn 2 definitely becoming Calamity Corner so far here tonight, and it is going to start up ahead, and yeah, there it is. And Holden McGill, I think, might have been right in the epicenter of all of this. Oh boy, that's bad news. And you see all the rest of this contact further back. I really hope McGill hasn't accidentally taken his faster pair before now, because if so, we might have just taken the points leader out of competition here.
Yeah, once another incident for Andrew Cootie, Barrick Uphold, a couple of guys who I already know have used their faster pairs. That is.
Oh, you're not telling me Barrick Uphold's in this one.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh. David Brackett's going to slide up the racetrack a little bit. Oh, Joseph as well, but Joseph gets away. And you see it all there. Berger picked the right lane. His Berger competitor did not. And Ryder Schrauf in there, as I mentioned. Kevin Franks trying to get through this. Oh my.
Yeah, this is one of the larger scale accidents we've seen today. And it's so many competitors that have led laps or been up front or, just, having decent days taken in this one. We'll see. I don't know how this race is going to play out at this point. The strategy where you pit for tires before the stage break for track position's not working out. Wow, what a hit.
I mean, there was nothing Holden could do. Oh my. Absolutely nothing you can do at that point. A car just comes down the racetrack so suddenly. Nothing that can be done about it. What is interesting to me, though, aside from just the cars getting taken out so far this afternoon, Bradley Walters going to stay out one more time. I'm loving this strategy here for Walters. He's stayed out at this point for 31 laps, and he's right there with Robert Mathis. These guys have really stretched these tires out under these caution flags, and of course it's one lap done, it feels like, or 2 laps done. They're not really using that rubber up too much more than anybody else, especially with everybody having to push to get to them. I'm really liking this strategy from the 59 and 95 to try and at least steal some stage points, if not, in Bradley Walters' case, the stage win. I mean, this is solid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, great stories up here, Zach Arnold, I know, is last week's winner. He's into the mix, so we're not all out of recurring winners as well. And then we have a bunch of guys that were running up front or running towards the front at Richmond, like Jack Ryan and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And we have a couple guys that are just getting into the mix for the first time this season, unless Daytona maybe a thing or two. But this is nice up front. We have a kind of a grab bag of stories up here as well. And I mean, I'm loving the strategy. I had brought it up, that caution, and it was kind of brought down because we weren't sure how many cautions we were going to get in stage 2, or if we were going to get a guaranteed caution in stage 2. And boy, we've gotten a few.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of stoppages here. I know someone was out there in the YouTube chat saying, remind these guys that there's still 100 plus to go. I think that was 10 or so minutes ago. we haven't even gotten to 90 to go yet. It's definitely a slow-going race, which is pumping up attrition and pumping up the importance of restarts. See Merrick Watchorn exiting the pit lane. This is one of those races that, as a driver, you've got to strap in. You've got to keep yourself mentally focused, because even under these caution periods, you might start joking around about how it's going, just in general. You might start talking to your teammates, whatever, but you've got to stay focused as a driver, because if you have any kind of lapse in concentration for any longer than is allowable, if you come into a restart and aren't totally focused in, somebody's going to get the better of you. And if you aren't ready for it, you just might end up in one of these incidents we're seeing out of turn 2. DW used to always say it was Calamity Corner. Absolutely tonight. It seems like every incident we have, for the most part, is out of turn number 2. It's usually on one of these restarts or the lap after, and it's just these small little incidents that end up piling up. When we've got 40 cars unloaded here, realistically it's 82, considering they each got a faster pair, so there's 82 shots at trying to race, and oh boy, they're certainly all meeting in the middle. That said, it's lap 69, coming to lap 70 of 162. Bradley Walters in control, Jack B. Ryan on the outside. They all draw close to one another, and they fire off and away. The green flag flies. Barney is letting them know once more. And he's going to need a couple of days off after this workout.
Yeah, you're gonna have to rest him like a pitcher in baseball after this run. But a very clean start. I'm gonna run out back. Looked like most of the field had a very nice go off the line bats. I mean, I think we can hopefully see a little bit of action here. Taylor Butcher Benjamin around the outside of Logan Hamilton up front. As that continues, carting the wall behind them, but stays straight, and we should continue green.
That was Robert Mathis in the fence. He's losing a lot of spots. Here goes Richard Springer on by, and the 95 very slow right now. We saw Chris Horn earlier on some older tires push a little bit too hard, and it looked like he almost lost the right front. I wonder if it's a similar issue there for Mathis. Side by side, AOD racing teammates into 3 and 4. You bring up an interesting point, Emerson. Do we even have relief flagmen?
I don't know. I think some have to be getting rested up there at the bottom of the ladder, or getting warmed up there at the bottom of the ladder, get ready to go on up. But Taylor Butcher Benjamin now around the outside of Jack Ryan. Does he have anything off of 2? Cars 1 and 2 going for P3 and 4. Taylor Butcher Benjamin gets clear up to P3. He has set his sights on P2 and P1 ahead of him.
Nose to tail to the front 4. Here comes the 20 car. Joseph down to the bottom side of Logan Hamilton in the Tucson Sound Art Ford Mustang, and he's going to drop into 6th. And really, this entire front pack is very spaced out. You see Curtis Mathis down to the bottom side, Curtis Martin rather, down to the bottom side of the 17 of Breton. I noticed Breton had cracked the top 10 a little while ago, now falling back a little bit into 8th position. And here comes Roger Shelton. Remember, he was in that incident a little while ago, pounded the wall out of turn 4. He is right back into this thing, in fact, in the top 10.
And look at him go, trying to see if he can snag some stage points here. We have now 8 laps to go, or 9 actually by my count. 9 laps to go in stage number 2. And we'll see if these guys can hold on, and we'll see who's able to move their way forward as the top 10 have really started to string out a little bit.
Holden McGill's back in it into 11th after destroying his race car in that previous caution flag. How about Holden McGill? Can he get to the bottom side of Mario here into 1? He's going to try and give it a shot, I dare say. This 21's got incredible speed. It doesn't matter where you put him on the racetrack. It doesn't matter if you try and wreck him out of this thing. He is doing his best to keep his race afloat up front. Meanwhile, a change for the race lead. Zach Arnold up to P1. Bradley Walters now fighting to the bottom. Can't quite get there, and the tires are certainly falling away on this 59. He's pitting! No! Stay out! If you've got the fuel, stay out. He must be short on fuel. He's got to be coming in for fuel, I'd imagine.
I'd assume so too. I can't see why you would pit if you didn't absolutely have to. That has got to hurt. I mean, he did everything right. Maybe he needed 1 or 2 more, maybe 1 more caution.
Yeah, if we had kept getting yellows, I think he'd have been good for 10 more laps.
That hurts. That does make sense, though. He did come in before the stage break. He can only run about 30-something laps on fuel. That hurts.
But it changes everything up at the front. Zach Arnold, last race's winner at Richmond, now in the race lead and looking poised for a Stage 2 victory. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, though, if he can say anything about this AOD dominance up at the front currently, he's going to. He's in second place. You see him up ahead right now of Jack Ryan. Joseph's a little further back. He's back into the top 4. He's got company right now from Curtis Martin. Logan Hamilton back there in a fight with Dylan Breton. They're still all very close. Nose to tail. Holden McGill is kind of stalled out in 9th place. Very good racing. Although it's really strung out through this top 10, it's still very, very close.
Yeah, it's now getting into little couplets here, for their individual battles for, an added point to their total. And here we are down the back straightaway, right on board with Dylan Brenton, trying to see if he can snag 6 from Hamilton. He's trying to get a little bit of a sharper entry in, but I think Hamilton might have the better exit.
Now, something we can do very recently here, Emerson, is we can rotate these cameras around, and we can look all around the cockpit here of Dylan Brenton's machine. It doesn't do a whole lot when we're not side by side, but when we go to a plate track, Daytona, Talladega, something like that, oh boy, that's going to be great for looking around at the pack and being able to look directly over at a car to the outside of another. That's something I'm excited to be able to do a whole lot more through these broadcasts. You see Mario Lapinta, he's trying to get back to the back end of Breton. He's keeping a much lower line through 4 than Hamilton or Breton, and it works out. Pulls a lot of time on the 17 car, and he just might have something for Breton before the end of stage number 2. Up front, everything very similar, spread out by 4/10, so this is some more of the closest racing on the racetrack. It's actually Joseph. Joseph is just chipping away at those race leaders. We're still watching this fight deep in the top 10.
I was actually going to say, I think Butcher Benjamin's been really closing in on Zach Arnold. They're coming at 2 to go. They're all nose to tail up front, actually.
It's actually 4 to go that time, racing to the completion of lap 84. 2 42-lap stages, and yeah, I actually did not think we were going to have company for the 10 car this quickly. I saw the margin kind of holding steady, and I thought it was going to do so, but no, Arnold's really lost a lot of speed. Here even comes his teammate to the bottom side of Benjamin off into 1. Jack B. Ryan fighting to put the 2 back up into P2, and he'll do so. What happened to the speed in the 1 car?
You know what? He might have used up that right front a little much, but no, here he comes right back to the outside. Does he have anything for Ryan? But they can't hold each other up too much if they want anything to do with Zach Arnold. With 3 laps to go in the stage, Zach Arnold just trying to hang on for dear life with 2 hard-charging cars coming up behind him.
Watching from second place, Jack Ryan, as he tries to figure out a way to stay ahead of Taylor Butcher Benjamin and maybe get to Zach Arnold, but it looks like that 10 car is just a little too good right now. This battle is staying a little bit spaced out. Now 2 laps to go in the stage. A little further back, things still mostly single file, but they've changed up a bit. Mario gets ahead of Dylan Breton, and now Roger Shelton hanging on to the final spot in the top 10 is also Holden McGill is up into 7th. How about the 21 car? He's going to be looking on the 12 as well. They're mixing things up finally for the race lead, and Jack B. Ryan to the bottom side of Zach Arnold up the racetrack, coming to the white flag on stage 2.
Here we go. All bets are off. Here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Does he try to send it 3 wide? He wants to. Does he want this stage win enough? Side by side with the 2 race leaders though. Jack Ryan down low. Zach Arnold up high. They come off of turn number 2 side by side. Looks like Arnold has the advantage.
Taylor's got to wait for his opportunity. It might come here in 3 and 4. Ryan down to the bottom. He gets blocked by his teammate. What can Taylor Butcher Benjamin say about it? Can he fight to the bottom side for a second? No. They're going to hold first, second, and third. It's Zach Arnold, then Jack Ryan, then Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Joseph comes in 4th. Oh, we have a great battle here for about 6th, 7th, and 8th. And we'll see how they sort out under the caution flag. And it looks like Hamilton holds on to 7th, but loses 6th to Holden McGill. The 20 and the 21 on rails coming back from being mired very far back in this field, especially Holden McGill with that massive incident he was in not so long ago. So your stage 2 top 10 going to be Arnold, Ryan, Butcher Benjamin, Joseph, Martin, McGill, Hamilton, Lapinta, Breton, and Shelton, 1st through 10th.
Guess who's getting the lucky dog? Riley Walters sat 20th, or he should get the lucky dog at least, being the first car 1 lap down. But not all is gone down for the 59 car. He still has a shot as we get going for stage 3.
Yeah, Bradley Walters should, like you said, I think just get that lucky dog. He's back in this race, I think, but it's going to take a lot. It's so tough to be talking about the viability of a strategy and suddenly that viability is out the window. I think if he had pitted 1 caution prior, he'd be in a much better situation. There he goes, taking his free pass. That's so unfortunate for everybody, I think, to see that not quite go his way. But the whole field coming in for pit stops here under this stage break. Zach Arnold leading the way. Whoa. I don't know why he slowed down suddenly right there in front of his teammate. I'm not sure what that was. If he was maybe close to speeding. You see Taylor Butcher Benjamin looking for... Oh, did he miss his... I think he missed his box.
Yeah, that looks like it. Hopefully he has enough fuel to get back going and come back around. But, wow.
Mario Lapinta maybe gets out first, or is that Frank Flores? There's Mario Lapinta. He does get out first. Then Zach Arnold. Then Jack B. Ryan. And side by side for McGill and Hamilton, the 21 going to beat the 12. Wow.
Yeah, I think part of Butcher Benjamin missing his pit box could have been because of, the checking up with the 10 and the 12. Maybe he had to get his eyes back on, what's in front of him to avoid hitting them, and maybe missed his sign on the left-hand side. But he's up to speed and will try to come back down this time, I'd imagine.
So it looks like we're not going to have AOD Racing's Zach Arnold for a stage interview, but we do have Jack Ryan. So, Emerson, I'm going to hand him back your way.
Right on. Jack Ryan, second place finisher in stage 2. What a wild finish. Walk us through that final restart and everything going through your mind.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I wanted to save tires because I knew my teammate's strategy and I knew the guy behind me strategy. It really came down to me and Zach there at the end. I thought I saved a little more than him. Apparently, it's hard to run too wide at Atlanta, we found out, because you kind of need that corner entry. But yeah, it was a ton of fun battling my teammate. We talked about it beforehand, so we made sure we wouldn't wreck each other.
It got really close off of turn 2, and then there was a little bump on pit road. Wondering about that when we saw it. Anything on that? Just an accident? Or
yeah, that was an accident. So Zach was actually sputtering on fuel. So that's why that happened. He kind of ran out, and then it caused him to stop abruptly and just clip me. But our spotter checked us out, and we are okay.
Right on. So now talk about the stage overall. It was a lot of start, stop, start, stop.
For sure.
How hard is it as a driver to stay motivated, stay in it, know you have a chance to win the stage if you can just, keep yourself in it?
Well, my spotters, my teammates, they really helped me out, staying focused on the race, staying focused on strategy, and I think we do have a good strategy, so hopefully it pays off. AOD racing up there in the front.
Right on. What's this plan for stage 3?
Avoid wrecks. That's a huge one. There's been plenty of wrecks, and keep me and Zach up front here.
Right on. Well, who do you have to shout out for the great run you've had so far?
I want to thank AOD Racing and Cody Meadows, my spotter. They've really helped me out a bunch, and all my family watching, friends and family.
Rock on. Well, we'll leave you to it. Best luck to you in this third and final stage.
Thank you, man.
So that's Jack B. Ryan not quite taking the stage win, but very, very close there with his teammate. And is going to be restarting just behind his teammate. You see the 10 car on the outside here, coming to our most recent green flag momentarily. Mario Lapinta, though, your race leader. It's lap 89 of 162. We're going to have about 72 to go here. And, no, is that right? 73, I think, once we take the green. That sounds about right. Yeah, 5 laps of caution. So we will have 73 laps as of the green flag dropping. And I wonder if we've subbed out our flagman yet. I know there's Bubbles Bronson up in Cabarrus County. I'm not so sure he can get down to Atlanta virtually for this one. The green flag going to fly. I think that's a bit of an inside joke there, but if you watch Summer Shootout on Legends Nation, you might get it. And that was very clean and orderly. Mario Lapinta off and away brings Jack B. Ryan with him. I believe we have Eric Brennan out there watching. That joke was kind of for him. And a shout out to our wonderful Eric Brennan. I think we have Trey Patton out there as well. Shout out to everybody watching because you're all great. Just like these guys going at it in the top 5. Emerson, what a restart. Very clean.
Up the track goes Mario Lapinta. Here comes Jack Ryan trying to snag the race lead. Lapinta did a great job on defense, but not good enough. Jack Ryan G just wanted it more. Slight nudge sent him up the track.
Whoa,
and he's gonna get hit too. Oh, and what a save! Still in front of the field. He's gonna check into the wall.
And we're wrecking Logan Hamilton.
Logan Hamilton.
Roger Shelton. Oh, the save. No, Bretton's gonna lose it in 3. Oh my. So we saw the tap where the 2 car of Ryan got the hit done on the 13, and I mean, he just moved him up from the race lead, and we're going to watch this momentarily. This is down the backstretch of the lap going into it all. Jack Ryan on the bottom side on the pink number 2, and right in 3, he's going to have a quality hit to the back end of the 13 car, moving up the racetrack right there, and gets down to the bottom side. How is that for a bump and run here at Atlanta? But then Zach Arnold just, he does the same thing, but maybe even a little bit harder, and just completely jacks up his AOD Racing teammate of all people right into the back end of Jack B. Ryan, and there's nothing the 2-car can do at that point. He's trying to save it, smashes the outside wall, then down and collects Logan Hamilton. Shelton hard into the wall. Breton's going to lose it into 3. Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh,
Jeez.
more wrecking. Dylan Breton. Yeah, I think we've had how to and how to not bump and run in
your
half
teammate.
a lap. Yeah, that was rough. You know, that's one thing. If you're not working, you know, as teammates, you're supposed to like work together in a sense to not wreck each other and put each other into the best position. That I'm sure it wasn't intentional to wreck him, but to try to get to the lead, that was a little rough.
And there's Shelton hard on the inside wall, and Breton just tried to get back up the racetrack and just gets the car loose. How does he not hit the outside?
Wow.
You know what? That is the wreck of the day. That is the cleanest and most organized crash I've ever seen out of Dylan Breton. What in the world? I want to see this again. This is talent not to hit anyone or anything. What in the world?
How did nobody else hit that 17?
So we'll see. Actually, we'll go on board in car here. You can watch his steering wheel. He's going to kind of turn right very quickly, and that really quick input's what gets him loose. How does the 04 of Curtis Martin not hit him? Then, oh my! That's incredible stuff. That is the wreck of the year so far from Dylan Breton specifically, just because he doesn't hit anyone. I can't believe that.
That is gnarly. To split 2 cars coming by at high speed, out of control of your own race car, that is gnarly.
That was incredible. Wow. That could have been a race-ending mistake. I thought we had another big pileup in turn 3 before we went back and got a chance to really look at it. That is beyond incredible there. He deserves to pat himself on the back for a long, long time. Dylan Breton, that is... It ends up being an amazing save, realistically. I'm still just absolutely befuddled by that. Now 18th spot. That was incredible driving.
Yeah, you know what? Some also incredible driving was Mario LaPenta. After getting shoved up the track, he keeps the car, you know, in it. He's still battling for the lead and all, and then has a car slide up in front of him. Good on him for not, you know, he tried to avoid him. I'm sure he didn't want to hit him or anything. The 2 was just sliding, but he did his most to stay out of the back of the 2 car. He keeps himself up in the 2nd position and has a shot at it when we get back to green.
So now lap 96 we should get across the stripe. No, still 95 for these drivers of 162. Now, it's taken a long time to get to this point here, Emerson, but we're starting to get to where these drivers have to start thinking endgame on the day. Lap 95 of 162 means we're just shy of 60 to go. What do you do in their position? Looks like we might have lost Emerson Arden there. But, you know, if I had to offer my own piece of what I might do in their position, we're coming up to 60 to go. I think, obviously, stay out this time by. If there's a caution on the far side of 60 to go, if you can work it out, it's about 50 to go. Maybe then pit. But I might come in a little bit early after that. Make a very short stretch here on tires shortly after this. Try and make up a lot of time if you're not up in the front. If you are up in the front, maybe try and go a little bit longer, have better tires at the end. It's really hard to say exactly what the right thing is to do in any one position, but we'll find out what these guys do happen to go with. And Zach Arnold off and away, going to restart our race, coming to lap 96 of 162. Joseph back in the mix, and here comes Holden McGill as well. That was an insane start out of the 10, and the 13's just falling.
Zach Arnold, I mean, he did everything right. La Penta, I mean, I don't know if there's any damage on that 13, but it did not. Oh, car hard into the inside.
Oh, Richard Springer. I might have jinxed him. I said earlier on he'd try and do what Tyler Johnson did a couple of days ago and win in the Valvoline number 6. Might have jinxed Richard Springer here as he's... Wow, he takes a hard hit, and oh, somebody just gets the wall in front of him, and he's got nowhere to go.
Well, let's see what happened. I have to assume there was some sort of contact.
Yeah, we're watching this 57 here to the outside. This is Stefan Purcell, and you'll see down the back stretch here, boom, wall, and boom. Oh my, almost turns over.
Oh, and right into traffic. Wow, so close to the cars on the outside lane. Yeah, I don't know. 57 just catching the wall there. Not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing that Springer could do, of course. That's that could be race ending. I'm not sure, obviously, if he's had to use his fast repair so far or not, but if he has, that's potentially a race ender for the 6 car. That's really, really tough inside wall contact, and that's generally fatal for the motor. We'll see exactly how it works out for Springer. Emerson, what do you say? As we have this chance just on the far side of 60 to go, what do you say we grab another driver to talk to? We've already talked to stage winner Joseph. We talked to stage winner Zach Arnold's teammate, Jack Ryan. I'm looking through some more of the top 10, and we could bring in... What do you say we try and grab... Well, I'm trying to find somebody up towards the front, but what do you say we go ahead and grab Taylor Butcher Benjamin? He was your pick a little while ago, so I'll hand him over to you.
Right on. Taylor Butcher Benjamin right now riding in the 8th position. It has been a wild race. What's your take on it?
Yeah, you don't say. A lot of mayhem, a lot more than I would like to see. Kind of screwed myself there on the stage caution. I missed my pit box and kind of put me back in this position, but luckily missed the last couple of wrecks right in front of me. But still got, over 60 laps to go, try to make it happen. Just trying to keep it clean and let everybody else make the mistakes, and I think I got something for these guys. At least the top 2 or 3 if I can get back up there without damaging my car.
Well, I hope so. I was thinking this race with the slew of cautions we had, plus you're always towards the front, or at least in the top 5 a good chunk of the time. You're my pick to somehow snag this one. How do you feel your chances are in that one car?
We still got at least one more pit stop to go, so if we clean that up as far as not missing my pit box again and just nailing these restarts and keeping the right front on the car, and I think I got a good shot at it. I've been really kind of hooking that high line the last couple of runs and making some headway, so see how it goes.
So I know we've had a lot of them, but how difficult has these restarts been, being on the inside and the outside, and being the car behind the leader, being beside the leader, and all this? How difficult have the restarts been from everywhere?
They've been all right. It hasn't been, obviously on the fresher tires it's not too bad, but once we get 30 laps, it's got to really be careful and feather it. But hopefully this one's another good one, and I can make up some spots right here. And hopefully we can finish this race on the green is what I'd like. And looks like we're going single file for now.
Wow, hopefully that helps out a bit. Who do you have to shout out for your run today?
Thanks to guys in my Twitch chat for encouraging me on, and thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. Thanks to my teammates and Ryder Strauss team, and thanks to the spectators as well, because I know it's probably getting a little frustrating for them to watch so many cautions, but kudos to those who are still sticking around.
Right on. Well, we'll leave you back to it, and best luck to you in these final 63 laps or so.
So that's Taylor Butcher Benjamin with his feedback so far on the evening, and you know what? I think he's not all that wrong. It's certainly been one of those races. It's a challenge to work through here. It's definitely been a race. I can only imagine what it would be like for one of these drivers trying to get going, halting, trying to get going, halting. It's got to get frustrating at some point. We are coming to the restart, lap 100 to lap 102, and Jack B. Ryan, we had a really weird start back here for about the 10th place position. I misspoke. We're coming to 101, of course, of 162, not 102. Zach Arnold off and away. I'm not so sure the single file restarts are the key to it, but it does at least get us into this very spread out kind of get-go from the get-go.
I don't know. I think it might help out a little bit. You know, you're still, you know, in a slight pack, but it's not as hectic. You're going to let it build up, if anything. But maybe we'll get some green flag racing as a result of it. And like you said, it does spread out the field a little bit. It makes you have to already, you know, work for your overtakes. Instead, you're kind of already being put into a position if you're double wide. And look at this run right here.
That was very sketchy for Mario. Oh, we got Roger Shelton stopped on the bottom side. That should not dry yellow. He's on the apron. Nate Brooker, we were on board with him. He's in all this mess. There's Taylor Butcher Benjamin on the bottom side. Almost had a chance for 3 wide out of turn 4. Nobody took the opportunity. And Benjamin up the inside of the 13 car. Jack B. Ryan sets our new fastest lap. Goes purple at 29.504. Oh, Brooker works the inside of Mario Lapinto down the backstretch, side by side. A couple of Toyotas going at it. And a very big gap back to this group back here with Dylan Breton and more. Logan Hamilton's in it. Joshua Abbey, how about him? We saw him with that awful start to the day. Thankfully, he's still in it, but he's got a lot of damage to the front end of that 05.
You know, I thought the result of that weird restart was because maybe Jack Ryan had some damage to his car. But going fastest lap, that is all but shut that one down. And Jack Ryan is, you know, in the top 10 and still has a good shot at this, even after the accident he had off of turn 2.
On board with him now, you can see Walters up the racetrack in front of him. Brooker working the bottom side. Nate Brooker, the only Brit in the field, has got some kind of magic right now, and is now looking at the top side of Butcher Benjamin. Crosses up to the bottom late apex. What can he do down the backstretch? Maybe a run. Yep, to the top side he goes. This 3's got something for the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, just getting put in the right spot on these restarts now. I mean, by right spot, I mean everybody kind of on equal footing in the line. But he's really having his time to shine and maybe not having to defend as much and just kind of focusing on what's ahead of him now. And letting that 3 car... letting it rip.
I mean, yeah, he is definitely doing pretty good. He's just found some kind of speed here lately. As though Curtis Martin's going to defend into 3. That backs up the 1 car. Very tight, very close. Oh, Butcher Benjamin a little bit up the racetrack there in the center of the corner. And you can see Jack B. Ryan's falling off a little bit to Bradley Walters, and they're starting to race it out. Meanwhile, race leader Zach Arnold off and away. This is realistically the battle for 2nd through 6th place. Because you can see Joseph holding McGill right up at the front, and oh my! Curtis Martin trying to hang on. A couple of Toyotas make some contact down the backstretch, and I will say it's very good to see multiple Toyotas racing up at the front. In a lot of NASCAR leagues lately on iRacing, you don't see the representation for the TRD camp. It's good to see that changing here in the L-TAC Cup Series. A couple of them going at it inside the top 5.
Man, I got really scared when Martin got up against that outside wall off of turn 2. But good on him, good on Nate Brooker to, you know, get out of it and keep those cars going straight. As this is now a 5-car battle for 2nd, as you alluded to. And Taylor Butcher Benjamin now on the 20 of Joseph and holding the gill, holding station in 2nd, almost 2.5 seconds back of Zach Arnold, though.
You see all 5 cars right here, second through 6th, spaced out as, the one car going to take a very shallow entry to the bottom side of 1. Doesn't quite make it stick the way he wanted, and then backs up from Joseph a bit, and here comes Nate Brooker. What can Brooker do on the outside of Butcher Benjamin? They're working together, I do believe, or at least trying to. And Brooker's going to go to the outside with his yellow rims, but doesn't quite stay there on the exit of 4, has to fall back in behind. Looking back through some more of the field, you see Curtis Martin, Jack Ryan back here. Brooker's not going to try the bottom of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. This is not over.
It is continues sliding up the track as Brooker. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has to get out of it to stay out of the wall. They're going to go side by side, slugging down the back straightaway.
Suddenly, the 3-car looking at 4th place. He's got it. The 04 trying to get back into the top 5. Curtis Martin's got some great speed, but just has to get back to... Butcher Benjamin, the massive run through the quad oval, down to the bottom. A very shallow entry once again. That's going to come back to bottom, I think, on exit.
Yeah, this is an absolute dogfight going on for this 4th position. And Martin into the mix, and Jack Ryan now gets back into it. Everybody having to check up over one another. Here's the slow car, the 88. Is he going to have an impact in this battle?
I think every car is going to have an impact on this battle, especially that slow 88 through the middle. 4 wide on the wrecking.
Oh, no.
That was a lapped car middle moment if I've ever seen one. And unfortunately, trying to split him, take it 4 wide is not going to pay off for these guys racing for 2nd place. Oh, boy. And I would not want to be the 88 car right now. I think he's trying to do the right thing. He's down here on the bottom side in 3 and 4. He knows the leaders are there, kind of same corner speed, but just no acceleration. He crosses up in front of Brooker. Brooker has to check up, and he just kind of holds the middle of the racetrack as they go 4 wide. And oh my.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. He had a kind of a compromised exit as soon as Brooker got to his inside. There was not a whole lot he could have done other than hold his line, and very tight going 4 wide would cause a little bit of a panic if you're the slower car just trying to keep the wheels straight, on a not straight portion of the track, and I think that's exactly what happened.
And you see, I mean, it's so tough to say. I want to play devil's advocate, and I want to take the side of Derek Line, but yeah, I mean, he turns into Nate Brooker right there. I don't know if he gets scared by the one on the outside, but this definitely could have and should have been avoided, and I want to take Derek's side, but I mean, this unfortunately is really going to impact the outcome of this race, and it just didn't need to happen.
I can agree with that. He did turn down. I don't think he knew he was 4 wide, and I think he did do it in response to the one, because Taylor Butcher Benjamin, I mean, if you're looking at the mirror, the 88, I can only assume that he came up out of nowhere. As soon as the 3 shot to the inside, boom, there's a 1 car to your outside.
Yeah, it's so tough, but yeah, he absolutely turns down to where there's really not a whole lot of room for anybody, even a single car to have gone down there. And at that point, when you've got 2 down, it's so tough when suddenly cars want to take you 4 wide. It might have been a little bit irresponsible, absolutely, on their part to go 4 wide through the quad oval, but if they are going to go 4 wide, you've got to hold your line, and unfortunately, Derek Line, it's a terrible joke writing itself right there, but unfortunately, yeah, Derek Line kind of just caught in the middle of it, and certainly not the outcome anybody wanted, and I don't think it's going to hurt those guys too much. Really, the only spinner there was Derek, but it is going to do a little bit of damage to Nate Brooker's machine, I think.
Well, now, I was about to compliment the single file restart, because we had a pretty good restart, pretty good running thus far. I know Zach Arnold was gone, but besides them, we still had the good battle for second, and then, pretty clean for the most part throughout the rest of the field. Now, I don't know if that's a result of how many cars have wrecked out or the single file restart, but then the lap car came to play, and we had this incident. The person, of course, who's hurt most by this is Zach Arnold, but I think as a whole, I think the whole field's kind of hurt here, because what do you do on strategy? How many tires do you have left? what's the game plan? You know, you're trying to make it to maybe what, like late 120s in terms of pit lap, and
no, I think this is perfectly on schedule, realistically, for I'd say the optimal strategy, and that's why everybody pits right here. It seems like Dylan Breton might have. He's either taking just fuel or 2 tires, and he's going to end up with the race lead. I mean, this is actually perfect. We're coming up to 50 laps to go here, Emerson. From here, I mean, we had about 75 right from the get-go of stage 1, give or take. Sorry, stage 2. No, stage 3. We're getting a bit mixed up, but from the start of this stage, there we go. It's around 73, 75 laps. To split that down the middle is about 24, 25 apiece. This feels on strategy for these guys. Maybe a couple laps early, so you have a little bit of room. If this does somehow go green flag to the end, there's opportunity for some differing strategies and some undercuts and overcuts. Even if we have caution flags, this is about where you want to pit.
So you're thinking this is probably going to be a 2-stop stage? I was thinking it was
2
going to be
in
a
total,
1
yeah.
stop.
Well, remember, we got half
hard.
fuel.
Right. You see, I feel like, you know, if we had some more cautions, I feel like it was going to be a 1 stop, but I don't know.
Oh, that'd be tough. That's the kind of Robert Mathis strategy or Bradley Walters strategy from stage 2 that maybe somebody could try. But remember, you can't bank on those. You've got to treat it. I think if it were to come to you, you might be able, if we get a caution on this restart and you just stay it out, maybe work it out. But you can't bet, right? You can't bet on those cautions coming, unfortunately. So it really puts you in a box as a driver. I think the biggest thing is the limited tires. If you've got unlimited tires, I think it changes things up a little bit, or even an extra set. It changes the opportunities, but realistically, it is a box that you're put in real life. NASCAR teams only have so many sets of tires allotted to them. And hey, we've got that ability here as well. So, coming to the start of, well, actually, we're inside of 50 to go. Did the math a little bit wrong. So, we're looking at 45 or so to go. This is even better for these drivers. Lap 117 now of 162. A very clean restart. But, did Breton just graze the wall?
You know, I think he was just trying to get the best arc he could because he knows he has a hard charging Zach Arnold. How hard is he going to block down the back? Not at all. Zach Arnold now pulls up alongside Vega side by side in the 3. Zach Arnold looking to make easy work of this 17 and is clear.
But he's got the biggest fight of his life coming to him, Express, and it's the 21 of Holden McGill, a big shipment of adrenaline shock energy coming right to this 10 car. Oh, I love this. We haven't been able to see these two really go at it so far in this race. Having them suddenly, in the last 50 laps or so now, met up 1 and 2. This is going to be amazing stuff. It's just a matter of McGill pacing himself, though, and I think that's what you're seeing him do. He absolutely, I think, could have pushed up to the 10 of Arnold, but he's waiting back. He's saving his tires right now, because if he knows, if he does, he's going to drive himself right up to that 10 car. I mentioned last night with Joe Donahue, or 2 nights ago rather, with Joe Donahue, you've got to race the racetrack, not the field at this point. That's what Holden McGill is doing.
You see, now, I don't know. We went a while on that single file. Well, I say a while. I think we only went 15. But is Zach Arnold's margin because he's pushing the tires, or is that his pace compared to the field? I don't think that's his pace to McGill, but I wouldn't rule it out either because he's been absolutely flying today.
Well, you know what? It's hard for us to say up here, isn't it? Because we've only gotten sample sizes. We haven't gotten a full run in yet. So we really don't know anybody's long-run pace or even handling as you see, wow, a slide and a save there from Butcher Benjamin. But, yeah, it's hard for us to gauge exactly who's going to be where. If we do get a nice little run in here, we were looking like we might have had a nice little green flag run, and then, unfortunately, that lap car situation takes Nate Brooker out of the top 10. No, into 8th, out of the top 5. Is still hanging on. As side-by-side go Joseph, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And Bradley Walters is not far out. He's in 7th spot right here behind Curtis Martin. This is great stuff.
Yeah, a lot of things setting up here, and I think the threat of cautions have definitely lowered since we went to single file. Joseph gets clear of Butcher Benjamin, and man, Butcher Benjamin has been on the inside of a lot of cars today. That right front tire is not loving that. But Let's see if we can cool it off here. Maybe he has anything back, but he's also now got to play defense once again on Jack Ryan, who inserts himself into the top 5.
Jack B. Ryan right on the back end of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 4 cars in a line, just under a second back of race leader Zach Arnold. And you can see Ryan taking a bit of a higher line. Benjamin really trying to paint that Harvick line here at Atlanta down to the bottom side. It's going to get him to the inside of Joseph. What happens here in 1 and 2? Ryan working the top, and Butcher Benjamin, a great run. That car is planted.
Yeah, has to now try to fight off the 20 of Joseph. He was almost clear off of turn 2, and in the 3, he's bare. I mean, he is inches getting clear to 20, but not he does. He clears up. He took it as soon as he had it. And now here comes Joseph right back around the outside. He's pinching that one car down there, though Benjamin wasn't coming too high up off the bottom anyway.
I love Atlanta from a broadcast standpoint for sure. Watching these cars bump and jostle around on the pavement here is just amazing. It's something you don't really see a whole lot anymore with the suspensions and ride heights the way they are. You don't see the cars jostle around as much. You want to keep them sealed off. But back in the early 2000s, here I go reminiscing a little bit. Nostalgia certainly kicking in. You'd see the early 2000s NASCAR stock cars bump and jostle around. They get a couple of inches off the racetrack, right? This is kind of a throwback to that because you've got to keep them off the ground just enough to not just completely scrape the splitter off, be it real life or in iRacing. And you're seeing these cars move around a little bit. Butcher Benjamin now to the inside, at least looked to the inside of McGill. You saw Ryan go on by Joseph. Yeah, Emerson, this takes me back a little bit to seeing those cars move all around when we still had ride height limits and shorter side skirts.
You know what else? This multi-groove racing is really making this a little bit better, I think. Well, I think now people are starting to paint the bottom a little bit more. But Butcher Benjamin going to the lowest of this group and still making it work. Here's the 88 of Derek Line being lapped again and almost into Butcher Benjamin.
He now gets a little bit lower, but that was scary there for a moment. Joseph trying to get on by now. Oh my gosh! Curtis Martin has to look low. Oh, these are a lot of close calls. Oh! Bradley Walters, No, okay, so Curtis Martin was the one going by. I saw the position change with Bradley Walters, and I got scared there for a moment that we had another incident there with a lapped car. Nate Brooker and Bradley Walters coming up to Derek Line side by side, though. What are they going to do out of the quad oval?
We'll see. They're still side by side across the line. Are they going to catch? They might catch them into one.
Oh, no!
What a save!
My! Bradley Walters, just like Dylan Breton, reach up there, pat yourself on the back. That's a hell of a catch. You see more cars. That was Logan Hamilton down to the bottom side trying to get on by. Oh my, that could have been a whole lot worse.
Now I know he's struggling. That car is not fun to drive on power, and it's probably damaged suspension-wise. But I don't know. There's got to be something. Got to give a little bit more room to the inside car, because even when he wasn't 3 wide, when he was 2 wide, it was a couple cars higher up in the running order. He was pinching that inside car down. It's got to be a little bit more room given if you're the 88.
Yeah, I mean, that decision's up to the officials for sure, but I'm right there with you, unfortunately. I hate to get so negative about somebody who's running, in 26, just trying to salvage his day, but man, it's 2 or 3 incidents in a row. Wake-up call at some point, right? And Stefan Purcell is going to come on by in a moment, the 57 car. Coming up to 30 to go, and oh my, almost had another incident there.
Unfortunately, that's not the
that
first
one.
time.
That one's not so much on
fair.
Derek, I will say, because he was kind of leaning the bottom. Granted,
Whoa.
Oh my, Jeremy Berger, the catch. And here comes Merrick Watchhorn. He's 14th, trying to get some of these spots right here. He could get back in the top 10.
Yeah, I get that one was quite a ascent from the 57. It's just so much going on. Yeah. But everybody looks, at least through the top 14, makes their way through the lap car relatively clean. And now another one joining the likes up front, and that's the 6 getting lapped. And I think that's what we're down to is these drivers just trying to survive the lap traffic, survive the tire life.
And there's one in right behind our race leader, Zach Arnold. It's Grant Peterson just hanging out right there. So a lot of lap cars. Lap traffic, I think, is going to be the deciding factor in this race at this point. 30 laps to go this time by the start-finish. Excuse me. And you've already seen it come into effect. And with these single-file restarts, you're putting these lap cars at the tail of the field much further back, and it's much more of a chain reaction restart where you might have guys a little bit later to the throttle. I think that's another big thing, is they might get even worse restarts and so much further behind the leaders already. Running into those lap traffic a whole lot sooner than you would with a double file restart. This also kind of takes us back to older NASCAR, doesn't it, with the single file restarts where you have everybody strung out and you're able to get back racing a whole lot quicker, but it brings this lap traffic a whole lot quicker. Also, this great battle for third. Oh my, Jack Ryan all over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. We've seen these guys get a bit squiggly wiggly, as Joe Donahue would say, the last few laps. And thankfully they've held on to it, but this is amazing stuff for P3.
Yeah, they continue to go at it. And I think here, we're at the point Jack Ryan knows if he's better than Benjamin, it's not by much. And he kind of just has to ride this out and see if he can save his tires a little bit more than Benjamin does, because Benjamin, again, is painting that white line. But how much is that right front being heated up? And is Jack Ryan doing a little bit better job of managing the right front? Does he have anything for Benjamin later on in the race?
Well, of course, we're working on a custom setup built for this league. I wonder if we're working more on the right front or the right rear, because we've seen some guys get loose tonight. That indicates, and they were early in the run, that indicates to me that we're a bit more sideways, driving off of the right rear a bit more than the right front. It's hard to say. Obviously, we don't have tire wear available to us up here, but I really wonder if we're working with a bit more slidey race cars and working a bit more off of the right rear than the right front, and that's actually going to lead to a really tight long-run car.
Right, and, well, I think that then does, destroy the right front. But, yeah, maybe Benjamin is painting that white line for that reason, to kind of keep the car planted. The white, the banking change between the banking and the racetrack and the apron, we, kind of keep that car a little bit more pointed and not wear out that right rear. But I don't know. I mean, now this top four, they're starting to string a little closer together now. I think you were right, Zach Arnold maybe, or I don't know if you had said that specifically, but I think Zach Arnold is not to the advantage he was earlier.
Yeah, I think what it is Holden McGill just playing the long-run game right now, because we still have now just under 30 laps to go. That is a full fuel run for these guys with their half fuel loads. So these guys still have to pit. And, Zach Arnold looked like maybe he was getting down low and getting ready to pit that time by. Holden McGill getting right up to the back end. This is for the race lead. What can the 21 do here in 1 and 2? Does he look low? He stays in behind. I've been mentioning these setups throughout the evening. I believe it's Souza. I don't recall the first name if it's Kyle Souza. I want to say it's Kyle Souza out there building the setups for this league. A big shout out to him, putting in a whole lot of work for these guys. And McGill's going to make the best of it down to the bottom side of Zach Arnold. He got there, but working the bottom means a shallower entry, and it's harder to keep it down there and actually keep up speed. And well, the 10 disappears. This might work out. Here he comes right back. Zach Arnold's back with us, but the 21 looking good.
Right on. They're continuing double wide, and Butcher Benjamin and Jack Ryan, they're not closing as much as I think they should, but they're also probably on old tires. And look at this shot down into turn 3, side by side, heads up racing. Zach Arnold fights back on the outside. McGill holding his own on the inside, and now to run off of turn 4. Does Arnold have anything down into 1? And now here comes Benjamin. He's closing in, making a 4-car battle for the race lead in just a moment. McGill clears Zach Arnold for the race lead.
So close through 3 and 4 that time by, and Zach Arnold unfortunately falls to the 21 car, but that's what I was expecting out of Holden McGill. To be able to wait a little bit and get back to him as Arnold looked again low. I think you've got to cut your losses at this point. Honestly, Zach Arnold, this might be a great time to pit. He's got, at this point, there would be enough fuel to go to the end. We're working almost 20 to go. You may as well pit. You've got to pit at some point anyways. Take the undercut, get back out there and set some time up to yourself, up to Holden McGill. Start running those fast laps again on new tires.
Right, and now I was expecting that, actually. Does the Arnold come in right after McGill? And now this has been a much cleaner stage than the first two stages, but you never know, you can get a caution, especially with how many cautions we've had today. Do you chance trying to
We do
undercut?
see some cars in the pit lane as we go by. It's none of the leaders, but
Do you chance the undercut, knowing that a caution can almost happen at any time, especially with the likes of the race today?
well, as long as you hold on to the lead lap, now that's tough to do, but if you're able to somehow hold on to the lead lap here, that I think is the better strategy, 100%. Because you get that pit stop out of the way. Oh, that was Ryder Schrauf down in the grass in 3. Derek Line laps car
Here
once
comes-
more. Here comes Ryan. Oh no! No! Where's the caution flag for this one? Jack Ryan is destroyed.
And there's the yellow on the speedway. TBB has hit the pit lane in that one car, by the way, right before that caution came out.
Oh my, and Bradley Walters, he had also come in. Oh my gosh.
Is it the third one with the 88? You see here down the back straightaway, this is Benjamin and Jack Ryan going at it side by side. Benjamin trying to come to pit lane here. The 88 of Derek Line he's trying to give room here. He got the wall there though. And then right there off of 4 right. Oh, he collects Zach Arnold and then no control. Hits the 2 of Jack Ryan. Man.
This is painful to go through. This is the second time that we've had a caution from it. All right on board from Jack Ryan.
See the run he got on Butcher Benjamin, but again, he's planning to come to pit lane. You see the 88 up there on the outside lane. Come down the track. I mean, he does from the outside to the middle lane. And Zach Arnold, Arnold kind of came up on him, but still, probably was expecting him to be a little bit higher.
Oh man, this really stings for everybody, I think, unfortunately. And it just, when it's the same kind of incident, it's even tougher to talk about, honestly, especially when it takes Jack B. Ryan possibly out of contention here. He's on the pit road for an extended amount of time, and oh man, we talked to him a little while ago. This might be his race.
Yeah, that was a heavy hit. I don't know what's left in that 2 car. He still scored on the lead lap. See if that holds. Yeah, but he's still on the pit lane.
Yeah, that's unfortunately really, really tough. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's just it's one of those things, man. It is racing. Anything can happen. But you know what? This sets us up. Everybody's good to go. Everybody's got new tires. Everybody's got a full tank of fuel, and we have a 15 or so lap shootout here, Emerson. I mean, we're gonna have, give or take, 16, I think, when we restart. This is going to be great racing. And now I believe we'll probably keep the single file restarts, which will keep us a little bit spread out. But
that just changed. We're going to
what do
double
you know?
file.
So double file restart's coming back here for the run to the end. You know what? If these guys can hold it, this is going to be amazing racing. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is stuck 1 lap down. You saw him right there. I mean, this is going to catch everybody in some really inopportune positions. While we were covering the guys in the front, what it looks like to me is everybody from about 10th on back had pitted or was pitting, and this catches the entire back half of the field out. We're only going to have the top 10 or so on the lead lap. And, well, I mean, I say that, and actually I think it's going to change. We're going to have about, it looks like maybe 15 or so on the lead lap because they're taking the wave around. For example, here's Curtis Martin. He's going to be in front of our race lead at the moment, along with Robert Mathis and all these guys. They're waiting on that wave around. In behind Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and further back, then you get the leader of Holden McGill. So a lot of cars waiting on this chance to get back by the pace car and take a lap back.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if a quick caution comes out, Taylor Butcher Benjamin and the rest of these guys taking the waiver round will line up with the leaders, and then that becomes a thing. But they're starting at the back of the field, the very back of the field, and they're in the most inopportune spot if a crash happens ahead of them.
So we'll see what one Jack B. Ryan can do to recover from this one. His car, you know what, Emerson? He might have had, no, the car isn't clean. I was thinking for a second, the front end looked okay. He might have had the fast repair, not quite. But he is still on the lead lap. And I mean, that is a caution that's going to sting for a while for the number 2 car. And unfortunately, a car that at least at the top 10, top 5, if not better. We'll see what he can do with it. A lot of wave around cars going to be coming up to him here shortly. But we are coming, as I said, to 15 to go here. We're back to double file restarts. We've got Holden McGill on the bottom side, then Zach Arnold. There's Jack B. Ryan sliding into 7th. We'll see how his car does with some damage. Remember, Zach Arnold got a piece of that as well, but I think that just grazed the right side of his car. And how about the Tucson Sound Art? Sorry, we have one more lap green. So we'll actually have 14 to go at the restart. But look at that, number 12, the Tucson Sound Art Ford Mustang. Up into the top 4. Logan Hamilton. I talked about it earlier tonight when we were still covering this, the end of practice there, Emerson. This is a chance for him to turn this season back around to where he was last season.
Yeah, Logan Hamilton has not had the runs he's liked so far this season, but right now in 4th, late race restart, keeps this car clean. We might be talking about Logan Hamilton, maybe talking to Logan Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean, all I have to do is get up there and snag P3, and he's racing 3 of the best to do it, though. We've got Joseph up there, Zach Arnold, Holden McGill, your points leader. And at this point, it almost feels insulting to be talking about Holden McGill without a race win, but he's still waiting for it to come his way, much like John Kinder on Wednesdays. So there's a whole lot of parallels to be made to these drivers who get up there and keep themselves alive, put really good races together, but might not necessarily get a race win. Holden McGill might be that guy. The funny thing is, they both drive the 21 car. I hope for Holden's case he gets a win a whole lot sooner because it gets frustrating over the course of the season. But coming to 14 laps to go this time by Holden McGill, race leader. Then it's Zach Arnold, Joseph. Is he all the lap cars further back, all lined up single file, but up at the front, double file, we're back racing.
Yeah, there's a big stack up with the wave around cars, but for the most part stays clean up front. Joseph slides up off the bottom a little bit there in 2nd, trying to find his way around Zach Arnold completely. Logan Hamilton wants to take it 3 wide. He files in line behind the 20.
We've got one wrecking, I think that's Mathis.
We continue side by side as that happens behind them. And 3 wide in the middle of the pack as well.
2 wide up front, side by side between the 20 and the 10. Arnold working the top side. It's lap 150 now. And Arnold, they both get a good run here on McGill. Where are they going to go? Are they going to try and split them in 3? Arnold maybe looking high. He does. He's going to try and get to the outside of McGill. Doesn't have the run to do it. But Joseph bringing the fight right back to Holden McGill. Up the racetrack they all go just a bit. And wow, Logan Hamilton hanging on, but still side by side for the race lead. Joseph gets these great restarts, these great bursts of speed, and it makes you wonder where it comes from, but golly, that 20 looks good.
He's giving his heart into it. He's going to have a door on the 21 into the corner. Can he get down there and get the run? They're going to be neck and neck coming through the apex of 3 and 4. And now we ride on board with the 12 of Logan Hamilton, looking at all this fun action ahead of him, and Joseph leads across the start-finish.
If we could talk to Logan Hamilton right now, I'm sure he'd tell everybody to check out TucsonSoundArt.com. He's sitting in 4th place and behind Zach Arnold, and he's got Derek Rolleveld up into the top 5 behind him. 3 wide, maybe down the back. Oh my, what are these guys doing? Rolleveld to the bottom side of Hamilton. Hamilton up the racetrack, hangs onto it, doesn't get the wall. And up the racetrack again goes Joseph, almost to the back end of McGill. We've got a lap car up ahead. It's the 88 once more. They squeeze, and no!
Good catch from Logan Hamilton after all of that, but wow.
Oh my. The attrition setting in for us up here as well, because this is the third time down the front stretch. And let's see exactly how this one goes. Oh, he hits the wall, and it just, there's nothing for Logan to do. Oh my. And fortunately, fortunately, that sounded a bit like unfortunately. Fortunately, Logan Hamilton's car looks mostly okay. I think he's going to continue on without too much trouble, but it's going to be a tank in clean air, and that's going to be what holds him back at this point. I think the suspension is going to be fine. He just went for a little bit of a spin after the contact. I don't think it's going to hurt that car too much, but oh my.
I mean, I don't know what to say about the other party in this incident. He has left the session, I can tell you that much. Just, wow. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's a third straight incident on the top side of the front stretch, on the top side of the racetrack for the most part. And countless other close calls. We hate to get so opinionated about it and so negative about it, but I mean, put yourself in our shoes, man. You know, when it comes down to it, I'm sure DW, Mike Joy, Larry Mack, you know, they'd all be getting to the same kind of frustration. It's just, unfortunately, oh my, it's three incidents of the same, and it's painful to see the drivers put in 150 laps, and suddenly that comes crashing down, and it's been the same car 3 incidents in a row, 3 cautions in a row.
All right, and it's nothing personal or anything. It's just
no. That's
no
a good
way
thing to clarify. But man, it gets tiring.
It's hard to put a positive spin on this when a lot of the front runners, you know, are affected. And lap traffic is a part of racing. It is the faster car's responsibility to find a way around. But this is a lot.
And I think when it comes down to it, it's not even anything necessarily that he has to get off the track or anything. It might be some kind of coaching with lap traffic, because it's not something you always have to deal with. That speed differential in a stock car, it's usually a lot more gradual when a faster car comes up to you. And I know, for example, running in a multi-class session, when you get into a slower car for the first time, say in IMSA, here on iRacing, if you get into a GT3 car for the first time, you're not going to know what to do when an LMP2 comes up behind you. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, and it might just be that speed differential is tough to work out at first. And if you're in it if you're in that kind of situation for the first time, it's going to be tough. But again, the third time, something's got to change, and unfortunately, the only thing changing was the other driver involved. This time it's Logan Hamilton. Before we saw it was Nate Brooker. We saw Jack B. Ryan. Which, speaking of, you know what? Let's check in on that 2 car, because Jack B. Ryan really was stealing the show there for a little bit. Unfortunately, he's in the pit lane getting some more repairs made. I guess that really would be a fortunately thing. He's getting some of those repairs made, and he's getting back out there and going to try and keep fighting. And this is what you want to see out of a sim racer. It's really easy at that point to feel down and out, but he's keeping in it. He's staying in it. He's not giving up. That is what you want to see.
Yeah, it'd be so easy to rage quit all F4 out of the session, but you know, to finish the race, even if it's not gonna, you know, end the way you think it should, it says a lot about the driver, and you know, thinking big picture and really caring about the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the kind of never give up attitude you want. And we keep mentioning, well, I keep mentioning our Daytona 24 run. I'm sure you could as well here, Emerson. We never gave up in our race, and it just comes down to that attitude of you've still got a race to go out there and run. And I'm really proud of Jack B. Ryan. I think he's one of the younger members in the series, and that's why I'm so proud of it, because as a younger member of the series, if you're still working through high school, for example, here on iRacing, it's a whole lot easier to get frustrated. I've been there. I've felt that. And it's a whole lot easier to quit. But I'm really proud of the two. I'm really proud of Jack B. Ryan staying in this race and not giving up. He wants to get all the positions he can. I wouldn't be surprised if he cracks the top 10 out of this. Meanwhile, 5 laps to go. Holden McGill going to restart first place. There's Joseph, Zach Arnold, and the caution flag stands out.
I don't think the race control thought the field was quite ready to go, so they want to add another pace lap to it. But yeah, my team, we had a broken suspension in hour 15, but we still finished those final 9 hours. It was a struggle bus, and we got bullied by GTE cars, but we finished.
Yeah, I mean, it's that attitude, especially in a 24-hour race. I mean, anything can still happen. There's so many opportunities, so many hours left for somebody to mess up ahead of you. Even in this, you still got a whole lot of corners to get through before this race is over. You've got to let this thing shake out, and if you're anybody back there, it's a great attitude to have, to never give up. Stay in it, just get any positions you can. And, you know, double-edged sword is you get guys that are out there at the speed differential like Derek Line. Unfortunately, that is what happens sometimes, but I'm a big advocate for always staying out there as long as you can. As long as you're not a hazard to yourself or anybody else on the racetrack, stay out there, get all the positions you can, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree, and looks like not another lap. We're going to get an extra lap after this lap because the pace car just got up there. The lights are still on, and the field had to check up anyway to get back behind the pace car. So we'll double up, and we'll get ready to do it again in another lap's time. But so many great names up here still in contention. Of course, McGill, Joseph, Arnold, and Butcher Benjamin we talked about all day. And then you have Rolaveld coming up out of nowhere. Hamilton, of course, just in that accident, but, you know, has been up here in this stage. And then Purcell inserting himself into the mix a little bit higher up the running order. He's been in the top 10 for a good chunk of the race, but he's up here with a chance at it.
Working the far side of 11:30 p.m. here on the East Coast. Want to remind everybody about our partners here at Pit Stop TV. Tucson Sound Art, Race Pace, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, and Whiplash Media. Also want to remind everybody we have a whole lot of racing coming up in the month of February. This is our final broadcast of January 2021. But we've got a lot of great stuff coming to you in the month of February, beginning on February 1st, BRP Racing Series and Pacific Challenge GT3 Series. There we go. Action on Monday night, coming to you from Lanier Raceplex and Imola, respectively. And we've got Opmo coming back, Road America on Tuesday, Bluegrass at New Hampshire on Wednesday, and L-TAC goes back to Sonoma this next Friday in a week's time. Green flag gonna fly. It's now lap 160, just 3 laps to go.
I don't know what the rule is, but Logan Hamilton did change lanes before the start-finish line. I don't know if they're going to rule it iRacing restart or not, but that's going to be something to watch with the top 4. Nose to tail and have broken away. Derek Rolaveld has continued on up here. He actually slides up the track a little bit of a heavy defense from Holden McGill.
Oh, Zach Arnold got down there to the inside of Joseph, almost overlapped and made contact. Roloveld's hanging out. He might get something here. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks.
3 cars, nose to tail for the win of this race. Joseph, Holden McGill, Zach Arnold, not in that order. They all want to win this. They've all been up here for a good chunk of time, but who's going to want it more? And caution.
We will get another chance at this. It's Grant Peterson turned around at turn number 2. The race has already been extended. You can see it at the top of your screen. It's now lap 161 of 163. We will finish this race, or at least try to finish this race, under green flag conditions. Oh, it's going to, it looks like, yep, Jack Ray Ryan's going to get a piece of this. This is the 52 of Grant Peterson. This is well in the back as well, 23rd spot. We've got Bradley Walters up here, and Walters is just going to hit him. Oh, man. That's that no-lift mentality at the end of the race. I can't knock it. You know what? In their position, I probably wouldn't lift either, but unfortunately, it ends up turning the 52 around as soon as it happens, and we have another caution flag and a few more cars involved.
Yeah, I get it. If this was 50 laps, or well, even 10 laps earlier, I'd probably be knocking it. But, you know, two laps to go, get every point you can, because every point matters. I get that as well. Just unfortunate that brings out another caution here, but there's very hard racing in this mid-pack. I mean, everybody fighting with a lot of heart back here as well.
Here's the onboard from Jack B. Ryan's perspective. You're going to see it happen up ahead of you. The 95 and 52. Oh, and the 43. Oh, man. Colin Stone, unfortunately, consider. How about that miss for Kevin Franks? I don't think you could have fit a hot dog in between them.
There's been a lot of those today, huh? A lot of near misses from a lot of these drivers. So I guess overall, good job on the day in that regard. But
let's check this out.
It's been a wild day. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see here.
This is one heck of a miss. This is really, really close for Kevin Franks. I'm really curious to see just how close it is from the perspective of the 98 car. And this is your Daytona winner, the Tucson Sound Art 250 Victor. You see it happening? Oh my! Just hooks the wheel right and barely gets on by. That is heads-up driving. That's what you like to see here out of Kevin Franks. That is good stuff. He's hanging there in the points battle, but this race is going to hurt him. He's currently in 19th spot, and I'm not so sure how much better that position is going to be by the end of this one. We are now into L-TAC overtime territory, and oh my, we've got a lot of cars still up front that can win this one.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a wild one. Also want to mention Logan Hamilton is still in this because the lane change rule is not a thing, I think, after Richmond. So race on for Logan Hamilton's sake. And look at that. 16 cautions, 59 laps, and we could possibly not be done yet. But 15 lead changes is also a good mark on today. It has been fun up front.
Yeah, considering 59 laps, there wasn't really an opportunity for many lead changes, a few because of pit stops. That's not that bad. I mean, that's actually really good to have 15 lead changes up at the front. I don't think we had that Wednesday night. To have that kind of parity up in the front, have that mixture of different cars getting laps led, that's what you want at any racetrack, but especially at Atlanta. Have things mixing around, and we've definitely seen things mixing around up at the front. Whether it was Holden McGill up front, Jack B. Ryan, Zach Arnold for a number of laps, maybe even Derek Wohleveld here soon, the way he's been driving. It's definitely been mixed up at the front, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this first attempt at overtime goes.
For sure, and the lights are still on the pace car, so, you know, just more time for you to think. The restarts have been changed for single file. So that's going to play a factor.
Oh boy, that's really going to change this up.
Right. But yeah, I mean, still, remember, these top three, they were on it. So if they can all get going with the 21, this is still, this is still all up for grabs. But yeah, just so much, the time to sulk what's going to happen on this restart is insane. But the lights are off now. And we're getting ready to see a finish here.
See more cars like Ryder Schrauf catching up to the field. Again, that's that mentality that I love. Staying in it, not giving up. That's so important for these drivers as they gear up for what could be the final restart of the evening. And we hope the final restart of the evening because, man, it's going to be a wild one for sure. Holden McGill, P1. Then it's Joseph, Zach Arnold, Derek Rolleveld, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Logan Hamilton, Curtis Martin in the 04, Stephen Purcell in the 57, Nate Brooker in the 3, then Joshua Abbey. No front end on that car. He had a great run on Wednesday as well. He's showing he's got speed here at Atlanta. That Texan is really not giving up. He is making the best out of a big day here at Atlanta. Coming to two laps to go, coming to our first overtime restart. The 21, Holden McGill in control. Waiting on the signal from the starter. We're off and away. Green flag flies, lap 166.
2 laps to go, 3 miles to settle it, unless, of course, we get some extracurricular activities behind, or up here as well. But Joseph trying to line up what he's got for Holden McGill down the back.
Nose to tail. The penultimate time through 3 and 4. So close. Joseph up the racetrack. Holden up the racetrack. Maybe side by side the next lap. Are we going to get the caution? We stay green. This is it. This is the final shot at it. Gives him the bump.
Push.
Down to the inside. Here comes Arnold. Down the back stretch. What does Holden McGill do? See him racing behind. Contact more. Arnold to Joseph that time. Joseph in deep. And out of turn number 4, it's going to be the 20 or the 21. Drag race to the stripe. They touch. They touch. It's McGill. Finally gets that first win on the season.
What a finish. Sliding after the checkers. But what a run. A heartbreak for Joseph. But what a finish and what a win for McGill.
And that is 2 Atlanta races in a row that we have seen the 21 car on the outside beating and banging out of turn 4, door slamming to the line. This time, though, the 21 comes out on top. You've got to go back and watch the Bluegrass iRacing Series race after this because that was also an amazing finish. I mean, it was almost identical to that. Out of turn 4, they got side by side. They started to beat and bang. Just this time, they held it together a little bit longer, and the 21 came out on the fighting side. Both times, the 21 on the top side, too. I mean, that is... that's insane. That is insane. 2 finishes almost identical, but this time, it is going to go to the 21 car of Holden McGill. Oh my, and you know what? After a finish like that, let's see, can I do this here? Yes, we can. This is something I was maybe saving for a different point in time. You know how Fox and NBC have had their drone cams recently for burnouts? This is a cool way to watch a celebration.
That is a nice shot.
Rising is a little bit weird, but hey, this looks cool. And Holden McGill is looking cool too. After 167 laps, wrapping it up, doing some burnouts here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Another note, I was just told that was the record for the closest finish in L-TAC history. So what a finish, and another note to it.
And he's going to wrap things up. We're going to wrap things up here momentarily, of course. We'll take our post-race break. Do not go anywhere. What a finish at Atlanta.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we just saw a classic Atlanta Motor Speedway finish. That was amazing. And I mean, it was a rough race. We're not even going to try and sugarcoat that part. It was a rough race to get through for the most part, but that puts the cherry on top. That makes it all worth it, especially for Holden McGill, who ends up walking away a race winner. We'll bring him right in here. We'll talk to him. And Holden, oh my, what a finish.
Still trying to catch my breath, guys.
Fair enough. I mean, we said at the top of the show, even virtually, Atlanta's a place that wins you after a race. It certainly wears you out. Now, let's actually talk about a lot of the race up to this point, Holden, because it was not a very straightforward path to victory. What's your story through this race? We saw you get caught up in an incident out of turn 2, like most of the field at some point tonight. What was it like from the 21 point of view?
Well, I mean, it started out pretty good, and then, yeah, like you said, got caught up in that accident, and from then on, I just tried to focus on the racetrack instead of the cars in front of me, and just kept getting a little bit closer to the front, a little bit at a time, and then come the last probably 2 pit stops, I was up there and had a chance to do something, and learned from our practice race that we had the other night to a little bit better to do on the overtime attempt. Because when we did it the other night, I ended up in a wreck instead of winning. So
we still kind of end up in a little bit of an incident there at the line with Joseph. How about that finish? He was bearing down on you. And this is now 2 Atlanta races in a row this week. We've seen the 21 on the top side, but you end up on the better end of it. You get that win finally. And I mentioned earlier, it almost felt like an insult to be talking about you winless so far.
That's winless in only 2 weeks, and we've been in the top 3 both those weeks, so not too bad. I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, the points leader are going to nab that win, but again, what happened there out of 4?
Well, just coming to the line, he had me on the inside, and I was just trying to focus on getting as straight of a run out of the corner as I could, and we made contact a couple times, but nothing dirty. He didn't put me in the wall or anything. Just hard racing coming to the line.
It's the first 5 races of this series, all very different racetracks. Daytona and Richmond went pretty well for you, so the top 3. Tonight, you get the win. You got Sonoma and Milwaukee, the next two up. How do you feel about them?
Well, I enjoy road courses, but Sonoma's one of them that I don't have a whole lot of experience on, so I'm going to have to work on that. And then Milwaukee's kind of in that same boat as Richmond for me, so I got a little bit of work to do, but I can feel a little bit better about it now.
Well, you win in style here at Atlanta tonight. Who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out tonight, Holden?
Gonna thank my teammates again, even though one of them wasn't able to be here, which was unfortunate, just because this was would have been one of his favorite races just from the tire fall off. And then thank Joseph for being very respectful on the last lap and racing straight up.
Definitely raced you straight up. Come across the line just ahead. Congratulations on your win. I'm sure we'll be talking to you a whole lot more through the next, 26 races to the end.
Something like that. Just gonna take them one at a time.
Well, best of luck to you out there next week at Sonoma.
Thanks, man. I'll catch y'all later.
That's Holden McGill wrapping things up with a big P1, 35 laps led. Not so bad after starting second place. Emerson, we've got Joseph, stage 1 winner.
Stage 1 winner, but it's going to be P2 on today. Joseph, I know it's not what you wanted, but talk to us about the heartfelt battle, that final restart, and the drag race to the line.
Yeah, it was super fun and entertaining. I thought I had him going to the line. I think we had a little net code on the first contact, which kind of hurt my momentum. But otherwise, it was nice, clean racing with him. He's been clean all race long. It was fun. It was very clean. You know, it's just going to the line, just a little bit of door banging. He gave me room the whole time. So, you know, it's not what I wanted. Second place is not what I want, but it's still successful compared to the last other two races.
Right. So you started third. You ran up here most of the race. I know there was a couple of times you got mired back in traffic, but for most of the race, you even led 13 laps. Most of the race, you were up here. How was it racing all these other competitors that are also just going so hard at it? It was a never quit attitude amongst the entire top 5, top 10 drivers. Was that tiring? And then especially on the restarts, how was that?
It was pretty fun. I'm usually good on short runs / restarts, which is why I had a chance against Holden. But yeah, I'm good at restarts, so I was able to chip away at the positions pretty well on the short runs, but it's not really that tiring. It was fun, entertaining. Yeah, it's not that tiring though. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I feel like the cautions maybe helped ease the arms in terms of being tired today. But next week we're at a road course at Sonoma. How do you feel about it?
In the clash at Daytona, I did pretty well. I got podium position. However, I don't have that much experience at Sonoma, so it's gonna be brand new for me. So hopefully I can do well. Basically about taking care of your tires and not making mistakes. And if I can do that, I think I'll be pretty successful.
Right on. I asked you earlier, but once again, do you have anybody to shout out for your second place finish today?
I want to shout out Holden for being so cool about the finish and being clean. Everyone in the race was honestly pretty clean, up in the top 10 and 5. I had a great battle. Thank you guys for the nice broadcast. Thank everyone for putting together this league. And yeah.
Right on. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here today. I know it was so close. 1/100th of a second. What separates you at the line? Hopefully you do one better next week. Best of luck to you next week at Sonoma.
Thank you.
Right on. That was second place finisher Joseph, and now we send it back up to Andrew, who's standing by with Zach Arnold, third place finisher.
And Joseph Arnold was in the conversation most of the evening. In fact, racking up some 57 laps led. Your teammate Jack Ryan was with you there for a while. What happened with him, in fact, in turns 1 and 2 a little while back?
Yeah, I'm not quite for sure what happened there. I mean, I have to go back and look at the replay. I had thought the 13 was pinching us a little bit. I'm not too sure. I was getting told by my spotter he was, but I mean, not really. I'm just so confused there. We both got in a little bit too hot on the bottom there, and it just kind of gave him a little shove. But I backed off for him to collect it, and at that point I just dropped low, and I guess he hit the wall and just kind of ended his night there.
We still nab stage 2, and then you come up 3rd place here at the end of the race. Obviously, it was an interesting race, attrition and restart importance at an all-time high. How was it for the number 10?
I felt like we lacked the drive off on the restart. I mean, we would definitely get up into speed there in 1 and 2. I kind of found something that nobody else did there early in the race, running that middle groove for the first 2 laps after restart. But we just lacked the drive off on the initial restart.
The 10 car still lightning fast all night long. That finish, of course, kind of steals the show right in front of you. What were you trying to do there on that last restart? Of course, the single file probably backs you up a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I knew the 21, was the points leader, so I was trying to keep him and I together, and knowing the 20 isn't, he's not quite sure where he's at in the points. I just wanted to go ahead and keep me and the 21 up there and try to secure our spots.
So pretty good couple of weeks for you. I think you had a pretty good outing at Daytona, if I recall. You win last week. You've got the Stage 2 win tonight, albeit you still finished 3rd place, but with 57 laps led. That could be right up there for the most, actually. That's a pretty high number. How do you feel going into 2 very different racetracks to complete a really handful of very widely ranging different racetracks in Daytona, Richmond, now Atlanta, then Sonoma and Milwaukee in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, my game plan, I don't really know. Just gonna try to get out there and survive for points. I'm not the best road course racer. I'm, mid-pack, and I got a mid-pack car at the road course. So, I mean, try to secure points tonight, and hopefully that'll carry me to Milwaukee.
Well, Zach, before we let you go, who do you have to shout out? Who do you have to thank tonight for your top 3 run?
I'd like to say big old thanks to AOD putting me in the Ford, and then Jack Ryan, really sorry that I got into you there. I mean, just nothing I could do, and especially Derek really came back, battled back there at the end.
Absolutely. It's an amazing finish there for you. Nabbing that bottom step of the podium. Congratulations on 3rd place. We'll see you in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, guys.
Zach Arnold taking bronze this evening. Emerson, what a show. I know we've talked about it a little bit already, especially between in our little post-race break right there, lining up interviews. That was an amazing way to wrap up what was a bit of a struggle of a race.
Yeah, I for one, I definitely expected a fourth of the cautions that we got today. But that finish was a very, very pleasant, positive note to end the race. Leave us with that positive feeling that, there's still great racing. And there was, even though we had the slew of cautions, the battle for the lead, the battle up front, the battle for second, all over the top 5, top 10, and even in the midfield. Great racing all day. I know the restarts helped bottle them back up, but there was always something to watch on those restarts, even when they got strung out a little bit. The little couplet battles, all fun to watch today, even though we had some lulls in the action.
Oh, those were amazing battles all day long. Obviously, it gets tough when you get into those string of cautions, and you can tell when we get a little bit down because of the yellows, but we definitely all picked right back up right there at the end. That was amazing stuff. You can't write that any better, and that's what we come to the L-TAC Cup Series to see. That's what we come to the Bluegrass iRacing Series to see. It's what we come up to iRacing to see, even though, sure, it might take a little bit, it might be a tough road to get there. That's racing sometimes, but when it all pays off in a finish like that, that's what we all show up for. That is why we do this. And it gives us these results with Holden McGill up top, then Joseph in 2nd place. Look at that. Just over 1/100th of a second It's not one of the closest finish necessarily that you've ever seen, but it's a very, very close finish. Anytime it's under a tenth of a second, really, you're talking about a close finish, especially right at 1/100th of a second at the stripe. Zach Arnold takes third, and Derek Rolleveld, his teammate, in fourth. And hey, your pick right there, TBB, fifth place.
Yeah, he had a nice run. Stefan Purcell comes home in the 6th position. Sean Neal, 7th. Logan Hamilton, after his incident with the lap car, and Nate Brooker in 9th, also had the incident with the lap car. They'll salvage a top 10 finish. Jeremy Berger and that Burger King machine will also snag the final spot in the top 10.
Coming home 11th, it's Merrick Watchorn in the number 91. He had a great start to this race. Unfortunately, just didn't quite work out for him. Only musters up 11th place. Frank Flores gets 12th. Robert Mathis, we talked about him a lot in the mid stages of this race, comes home 13th. Jack B. Ryan, not that bad given the circumstances, comes home in 14th spot. That's Curtis Martin in 15th.
16th place, we have Dylan Bredin. Joshua Abbey comes from 17th. That's the last car in the lead lap. Bradley Walters, man, he got himself a good chunk of laps led, but he'll only be 18th. First car, 1 lap down. Daytona winner Kevin Franks coming home 19th. The second car, 1 lap down. And Mario LaPenta comes on P20, 2 laps down.
Finishing just on the south side of the top 20, it's Ryder Schrow from the 58 car. Then Colin Stone in 22nd. Grant Peterson, we saw him rear his head at one point in the middle of the race as a lap car, unfortunately. He got caught up in a couple incidents himself. Barrick Uphold right there. Hey, the Whataburger machine. I saw him in Discord a little bit ago talking about our Whataburger puns. I don't think I have one here at the end, unfortunately, a little bit beat up, but finishes 24th position. Richard Springer finishes 25th. And, well, the rest of the top 30 there, Emerson, Derek Line, Roger Shelton, Landon Durhold, David Brackett, and John Fallon.
Right. We'll follow on to the next page. Andrew Cootie got himself some laps led early, was running away with it in the first stage, and some strategy got him mired back in the pack, and unfortunately ended his day prematurely. Kyle Green ended on the same lap, along with Wyatt Brackett. They all finished 103 laps down, 31st, 32nd, 33rd. Chris Horn, 34th. Stephen Parrott comes home 35th. Ryan Duke, 36th. Robert Pattengale, 37th. He's 133 down, with Lauren McFadden, 38th, 142. Roy Grande, 39th, 153 down. Brett Fisher, 40th, 167 down. And 41st, Mason Thompson. He did not take the green.
So 40 cars did take the green flag. They didn't all finish, but by golly, what a finish it was. And it wouldn't at all be possible without these guys right here. We talk about them so much. We don't talk about them enough, it feels like. Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. You provide the image you want, and they will custom create a beautiful framed high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. And with Sound Art, believe me, Emerson Arden, you get the best of both worlds. I can vouch for this product. It is simply amazing. It's one of those things you don't think you need until you realize you do, and that's generally when it's in your hands. But believe me, you do need one. It is fantastic. I'm always looking for things that I like, right, to put up on my walls. We're all looking for things that we like to just fill that space on the wall, fill the white or gray or yellow, whatever color your wall is, fill that space, make it look like a home. While sure I have a picture of Elon Musk up there, I also have this amazing canvas from Tucson Sound Art of the win that we got with David Levine Racing over the summer of 2020 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in real life. That was an amazing experience for me, and you can take any amazing experience for you, put it up on one of these canvases. The best part is it plays music, and it sounds great, it holds a charge for a really long time. It's quality stuff. Check out TucsonSoundArt.com. Use promo code PITSTOPTV for 10% off of your order. There's no reason not to at that point. You're getting 10% off. You're not only paying 90% price. That's really helping you out quite a bit when it comes down to it. Meanwhile, ever wish that you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, now you can, thanks to Race Pace, a driver development service and setup shop all in one. Work with Tyler Campbell, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race on iRacing. pick up pace with race pace. Again, can vouch for this. Tyler Campbell does amazing stuff over at Race Pace. Quality setups. We ran one in the 24 hours of Daytona in a Lamborghini Huracan, and it made all the difference. I've got Trey Shuttlesworth here. He's on social media, but he can, I guess, kind of back me up, gives me a silent thumbs up here, because we were just a little bit off going into the weekend. Right before the race, I shouldn't say right before the race, the day before, we get one of these setups from Race Pace, and it made all the difference for our entire team. We all picked up time, we all felt much more confident in the car, and even when we were down and out, we were like Jack B. Ryan tonight. We never gave up, and the fact that we had this setup in the car, despite all of our damage, gave us the confidence to pick up tons of positions at the end of the race, and it gave us a top 5 finish in the 24 hours of Daytona. It's the best finish we've ever had. We also want to, of course, shout out getting ahead of myself there. Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine can also vouch for this product. Not that I've personally used it, but if you are looking to use it, by all means, you want to look your best. I mean, that's just a given. And especially going into getting closer to the spring, getting closer to the summer, you want to look as good as you possibly can. So you want to go where you're going to get it done right, and that's Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. Now, it may not necessarily be available to you if you're in California, but if you're anywhere up in New England, check these guys out, because Ashley Bollier and her team of micropigmentation specialists and more, cryotherapy specialists and more, they do amazing jobs up there in Auburn, Lewiston, and Harrison, Maine, and they can get you fixed up the way you need to get fixed up. Call them at 207-358-8683. You can even text them at that same number. Again, that is 207-358-8683. Check them out on Facebook, check them out on Instagram, check them out at their website, permanentmakeupinmaine.com. And finally, Emerson, we always need everyone to go check out Whiplash-Media.com, our new parent organization specializing in various sim racing resources, paint schemes, stream overlays, these iRacing camera packs to spice up your iRacing stream, be it a team stream of the Bathurst 12-hour coming up in just under a month's time, or even if you're a new broadcast business out there, you want your broadcast to look good, we can help you out. They may be used in our broadcast, but they can be used in yours as well. Check out whiplash-media.com or check us out on Facebook. We will get you hooked up. We'll get your streams looking fantastic with these cameras. Again, that's whiplash-media.com. Emerson, I just had my whole soapbox. How can you sum up the rest of this evening? That was one heck of a race.
Well, once again, just shocked that we had as many yellows as we had, but very thankful for the hard-fought racers in this race. Even when the going went tough, everybody in here still fought their hardest to get every last spot they could. That was evident in even a few of the cautions, but every racer in here was racing all 167 laps. You know, we were only scheduled to run 162, and nobody expected, 18 yellows. Everybody was here. Everybody wanted to get as high as they could in the finishing results, and they did. The heart was there, and that's what I'm taking away from this race, is that everybody wanted what they could get.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to keep going back to the two-car of Jack Ryan. I'm so impressed by somebody. We got kind of an overview of some of the drivers this week, and I mean, he's in his teens. He's younger than us, and we get kind of thought of as some young blood when we come in and we talk to all of our different leagues that we partner with to broadcast. And they think we're young. This guy's younger. Jack Ryan, he had the perseverance, he had the heart to keep on going, and that really impresses me. Having raced on iRacing at about his age, that really impresses me. That is incredible. The fact that he kept in it, he never gave up. Kudos to you, Jack Ryan. I'm going to clap here on the broadcast. Kudos to you. That's what stands out to me out of tonight's race, alongside of that amazing finish. That said, like all good things, this broadcast must come to an end, and that concludes our coverage of the L-TAC Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We at Pit Stop TV, thank you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Be sure to join us Monday night, as I mentioned earlier, for the BRPI Racing Series Big Blocks at Lanier Raceplex and the Pacific Challenge GT3 Series at Imola in Italy. Tuesday night, we showcase round 2 of the Operation E Motorsport action at Road America, followed by the Bluegrass iRacing Series at Hampshire Motor Speedway before the L-TAC Cup Series heads west to Sonoma. Catch those on Wednesday and Friday, respectively. You'll see some of the same drivers in both races. I think a Wyatt Brackett, David Brackett, and Joshua Abbey. Make sure to follow us over on Facebook at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, on Twitter at pitstoptv_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. For all of Pit Stop TV, Emerson Arden with me on the mic, Trey Shuttlesworth on social media, I'm Andrew Cardinale IV. This has been Pit Stop TV, and we will see you next time.